Good morning, everyone. So, hi, YouTube and Facebook. If you join, please make sure that you speak so that I know you are here, or else I won't see you, right? Because I can't see when you join, I can only see when you comment. What's up, Yeti Corp? Hello, TikTokers. How are you? What's up, Futuro? Hey, Orden. How are you? Good morning, folks. What's up, Lulu Bell? Good to see you. What's up, Melissa Cooper? How are you? Good to see you as well. What's up, Amy? How you doing? Hey, Mary. Hey, Remo. What's up, Farah? How are you? Yeah. So not so loud, Sissy. Okay, babes. Mm. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody's doing all right this morning. I'm doing pretty good myself. Just kind of take it in the morning, getting some things done. What's up, Skyrider? I see you. Hey, Sharita, Win Dixie, nice to see you as well. I am multitasking, as you see. Yes, you caught me right at the very start. I'm literally just getting started. What's up, Tina Noel? Good morning. Hey, Kimber. Hey, Brandy. What's up, Blue Nevada? Good to see you as well. What's up, CJ? Good morning. So again, I want to start by saying this. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure that you speak, or I won't know that you're there, right? Because I can't see when you guys join. I can only see when you comment. So make sure that you speak, and that way I can say hello and say hi to all of the people. What's up, Kitcha? Hey, Morty. Good to see you. Hello, Catsmandu. Nice to see you as well. We're going to kind of kick this thing off today and get going. Hey, Marky, nice to see you as well. Let me start by saying this. If you were on the live yesterday, and you hey, Jamie Cobb, good to see you. If you were on the live yesterday, all of the links and the Excel spreadsheets from the Department of Education are in the link tree. So you will be able to see a collection that's around education, and in that collection you will see the link to the map showing the percentage of federal funding for education and by state. What's up, Jessica Simone? Good to see you this morning. Glad to see you. What's up, Megan? Hey, Grammy. So that is in there as along with the breakdown. Each spreadsheet contains how much federal funding. What's up, Michelle? That is being given to each state, and it's also by. Thanks, Amy. It's by state, but it is also by program. So what's up? Let me see who else I got in here. So Cheryl, good to see you. Amy, you're right. They have nothing to do with each other. So what's up, Michelle Zahn? Good to see you. Hey, Hilda. All right. So good morning, Stacy D in the place to be. What's up, Morty? Steel City Cutlass. Why does Trump get me so emotional? Do I seem emotional? Why does Trump get you so ignorant? Fair question. Why does Trump get you so ignorant? Let's start with that one. What's up, DeBose? Emotions are a good thing. And then this joker says emotional lesbian. Damn, are you watching my vagina? What in the holy hell? Aw, you're an emotional lesbian. I don't know why people think that lesbian is like an insult. Why do you think that that's an insult? I know it's a bot. It just tickled me for a minute. I'm like, God, why the interest in people's, y'all are really weird. Let me just say this. The folks, the folks that are so concerned with people's reproductive organs, you all are weird. I have never seen people more interested in other people's genitalia in my life. And yet you're supposed to be the conservative Christian folks. I don't get it. I have never seen more Christians and conservatives being worried about penises and vaginas in my life. Good gosh. What in the world? That's so like, what in the world? I just don't get it. It's really is weird to be that concerned about someone else's genitalia and reproductive organs is just weird. Like there's really something wrong. May I recommend therapy? Okay. Well, here we go. Happy Friday, everybody. It looks like we're off to a bang of a start, aren't we? What's up, NG Pro? Right, Cheryl, they don't get it. Good morning, Alex. So it's just really, people are really, really, really weird. Um, oh, Cassandra, would you like to join the panel? I'd love to have this conversation with you. I do laugh like her. I do laugh like Kamala Harris. I sure do. This is what a joyful brown skinned woman looks like. I'm sorry that you don't get to laugh that way as well. I know it's intentional because that's how they spell it. It's the lack of education. Like, it's crazy. I do laugh like her. I love that. Yeah, I'm sad that you don't get to laugh like that. You do want to be like her? I see that. I see that you do. Do y'all want me to fix the of so that people get it right? Because I was going to say maybe if I misspell the word of, y'all will get it. But should I spell it right for everybody? I'll do it. I'll do it. And why y'all still talking about Kamala Harris? She's not in office. Why y'all still mad? Do you know how sad you have to be? Do you know how mediocre of a man you have to be worried about a black woman's laugh 6 months after an election and she's not in office? Do you know how minuscule you must be in every way, shape, or form to be worried about that woman's laugh 6 months after it? Ooh-wee. Bless it. I'm just saying, baby carrot syndrome all day long. Baby carrot syndrome all day long. That's how jealous of that woman you all are. You all are that jealous of that beautiful, intelligent, accomplished, successful, strong, joyful black woman that 6 months after the election, you are still jealous of the way she laughs. Bless it. Bless it. I just, woo wee. But we can do it if y'all want to. If you have not caught on yet, I'm happy to return to you the energy in which you give to me today. If you would like to come for me and find me, you will find me today. So give me 1 second. It is going to look like I'm going away, but I'm not. I'm going to change the for folks, but give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to fix this for folks just so everybody can kind of stay stay on board, stay connected, all the things. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. There we go. I got it. There you go. How about that? Is that better for folks? All right, so listen, I'm gonna say this and keep it pushing so that we can get going. I have a lot to talk about today, so try to keep up. No one wanted her evil last. That's why she's not present. Well, actually, a lot of people wanted her. Actually, about 48.6%, 48.5% of the country, 4%, 48.5% of voters wanted her. 48.5% wanted her, and only 49.9% wanted Donald Trump. So when you say nobody wanted her, you're actually inaccurate. There were plenty of people that did. Yeah, actually, plenty of people that did. 100%. Right? So again, bless y'all. I mean, I know that the math can be daunting. Some of you all still think that it was a landslide because you don't be able to seem to be able to do math. But when you do 48.5% and 49.9%, that's not a great deficit. That's not a landslide, right? This is one of the reasons we need to keep the Department of Education and just improve it, because some of you all don't know how to do percentages. Math seems to be challenging. And I know new math and old math can be a little complex, but I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Woo! See, y'all don't know whose live you thought you stumbled into today, but It's a little different. It is really weird, right? So give me 1 second, folks. Let me pop this on up here. Boom. I'll do this. Okay. Now, for whoops, let me do this over here. All right. So, yes, it is a Kamala laugh. Do you want me to teach you how to do it real, J Phil? Do you want me to teach you how to do it? I'm sorry, I can't. I can't teach you. In order to have a laugh like this, you have to truly be at peace with who you are. You have to love who you are. You have to know who you are because you know who you're not. In order to laugh like this, yeah, in order to laugh like this, you got to be doing, it's a whole different type of thing, right? Yeah. See, I can't teach you how to laugh like this. That's why you're mad. That's why you're mad. That's why. And do you want to know how I know? Let me tell you how triggered they are. They are triggered because I have this little trans symbol and these mice up here, and they know that the most ignorant comment in the world is being mocked by everyone. The fact that people think that transgender mice is a thing, that's why y'all mad. Y'all are mad as fuck because your presidential candidate looks like an absolute idiot around the world. That's why you're mad. I didn't even have to say shit. All you saw was a trans symbol as mice, and you know how damn dumb he looks today. And that's why you're mad. You're not mad at me. That's why you're mad. And then y'all are really mad because some of you all tweeted and posted and commented about that shit. And now you all are realizing how dumb you look. That's why you're mad. Because you actually thought transgender Mike was a thing. Mice was a thing. Bless it. That's why you're mad. Thank you for subscribing, Sunshine to Peach. You're not mad at me. You're not mad at Kamala Harris. You are mad because you voted for a candidate that stood on the international world stage and said transgender mice like it was a thing. And half of his base reposted that shit. And all y'all look dumb as fuck. That's why you're mad, not me. Y'all not mad at me. For all this talk about AI, y'all don't use that shit, do you? You can't possibly use Chat GPT at all. You can't. Y'all can't. So just so you all know, a transgenic mice are mice that have had DNA from another source put into their DNA and successfully been able to incorporate it into their DNA makeup and pass it on to other mice. That's what it is. That's what it is. Transgenic. Transgenic. That's what it is. Bless it. So I hope that helps y'all some. And if you feel like you have something to say, if you would like to talk facts with me, feel free to request up to the panel. Don't hang out in the chat. Come on, Laura Grace. Are you a bot? You look like a bot. You've got 107 followers and you're following 1,000 people. So you look like a bot. If you're not a bot, Laura Grace, feel free to join the panel. Your settings are set so I can't send you an invitation, or I would. Ricky, do you know what a transgenic mice is? I just explained it, but we're going to try it again for you. Ricky up here talking about they spent $8 million, for fuck's sake. Do you understand what a transgenic mice is? Bless it. Well, come on up to the panel, Ricky. Let's go. Tons of research. Tons of research. That's what transgenic mice are used for. Ho, lo, be. Right. Mm-hmm. To fight disease. Yes. Good morning, Chargers. Yeah. This is what's so funny to me. What did you? I would have some grace with you, but for God's sakes, stand and dand, stand and dand. I don't know what you're trying to say, Lord Grace. Oh, good morning, Angie. Good morning, Bronze. What's up, Chopped? Vince, I guess they do. I guess they do. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's really alarming to me how many of you all are mad. Yes, they did. Well, Donald Trump did it first. So Donald Trump did it first, right? He confused transgenic mice with transgender mice, right? And then a lot of his followers and supporters did as well. We do have MAGA guests today. We do. So no, he's not. Oh my God, bless y'all. Do you all know what transgenic means? If you believe that you do, come let me know. I'm waiting for you to request up. It does, Stacy. It does. Y'all keep talking about CNN. I don't watch CNN. I just did tell you. The person who just said tell us, I just did tell you. Transgenic is when they take DNA from a different source and they put it into the mice, and then those mice are able to incorporate that DNA from a different source into their DNA and then pass it on to their babies. That's what transgenic means. They have altered the DNA. That's what transgenic is. This is exactly why we need the Department of Education. This is exactly why we need the Department of Education. Okay. um, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I'm multitasking. Whoop. Okay, so do 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 do. Yeah. So here's the quote. This is what Donald Trump said. Thank you, Sage. This is what he said. Quote, just listen to some of the appalling waste. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. That's what he said. That's what he said. JP. And so it's funny to me, right? There's no research to make mice transgender. That's not a thing, y'all. Right? So to give you an example, can I just I'll give you something. So let me just give you a little bit of this, right? No, there absolutely isn't. Okay. James, it's YOU apostrophe RE. RE. Oh. Do any of you all know what? I don't know who would think it is, who think it's a thing or not. Like, so do you all know what? No, I don't know why I'm asking this question because it's obvious that you don't, right? Transgenic research is used for a ton of different things, right? So, for example, women have estrogen, right? And as women go through perimenopause and menopause, a lot of them have hormone therapy, which would be considered gender affirming care. Y'all do realize that, right? So when a woman goes through perimenopause and menopause and she receives hormone therapy, okay, estrogen, that would be considered gender affirming care. And so one of the questions is, does estrogen hormone therapy contribute to a greater chance of asthma in women, right? No, that's not making you transgender, sweetheart. Dear God, do you know what transgender means? Apparently not. No, you don't. Bless it. You all don't get it. Yeah, you literally have, and this is the thing, I'm not arguing science with people. It's very simple. If you believe that transgender and mice are the same thing, transgender mice is a thing, then you are indeed part of the problem. I really don't care what CNN says. I don't watch CNN either. Like, I don't watch CNN. All right. Nobody spends $8 million to make transgender mice. It's not a thing. Yeah. So, um, so when I say, and I was being nice because I said you may be part of the problem. I said may. You are part of the problem. You are. It's not that you may be, it's that you literally are part of the problem. It's not that you may be part of the problem, it's that you are part of the problem. Yeah. Transgenic mice are mice that are used in all different types of studies for all different types of diseases and research. So it is a thing, right? And here's the thing, I'm going to say it again. If you think that you've got something to say, James Stocks, I just sent you a direct invitation to the panel. Come join me, sir. Come join me. Come talk to me, since I'm the whole problem, which I'm going to tell you what, if I'm the whole problem, I'm a bad bitch. If I am the whole problem in this world, I am a bad, powerful bitch. Let me just tell you, if I'm the whole problem, wee, look out. Shit. I'm the whole problem? Man. Now I know why you're staying in the comments. Because if you believe I'm the whole problem, that's why your ass is staying in the comments. Because you damn sure don't want to get up here on the panel with me, do you? If I'm the whole problem, I'm powerful as fuck. You might just want to stay on in them. You might just want to stay in there. Yeah, so be more. Here's the thing. So during the address to Congress, which I did not watch, what's up, Con Air? Um, he said that there was so much waste, $8 million had been spent to make mice transgender, which is not a thing, right? Yeah, I'm going to continue to be part of the problem. Okay, so I guess he was confusing transgenic mice with transgender mice. And transgenic is a whole different thing that's necessary for research, right? Hey Mila, what you doing, love? You said it very fast. Okay, can you hurry up and come out of the bathroom for me? Okay, wash your hands and come on. Thank you. You know she likes to play in the water, y'all. So whenever she's not out here and all of a sudden it's quiet, I'm like, hold on. All right. So yeah, that's a thing. And here's my thing. If you believe that these two things are related, then you literally are part of the problem. You are part of the problem, folks, because this is just too simple, right? It really is that simple. Why do y'all keep talking about CNN? I have never seen this many MAGA folks talking about CNN. I don't watch CNN. right? I don't watch CNN. So, no, maybe I shouldn't. I prefer facts. So I don't do mainstream media. I don't do CNN. I don't do Fox News. I don't do OANN. I don't do Newsmax. I don't do any of that shit. I just like to go look at medical studies and medical research and find out what a transgenic mice is and mice is and what are they used for. That's all you got to do. That's literally all you have to do. Yep, and so HIV research was part of it as well, like all of it. And so this is the thing that people don't know. Yeah, it's transgenic, GENIC. Who called me Karen? Oh, that's funny. No, he said transgender. I said transgenic because that's what the word actually is. He said to make mice transgender, and it's actually transgenic. So, and by the way, it's not a waste. Transgenic using transgenic mice is not a waste. It's necessary. Watch putting full links in the chat, please, because TikTok doesn't like it when you do that. Well, they do, Blake, and literally they are arguing with me about it on TikTok as if I didn't. I have no idea. No, it's not good vibes. Let me do it real quick. No, it's not. Sorry. It's just weird to me that people are so mad about a thing that you're not willing to go look up facts for yourself. Good morning, Linda Sims. How are you? Okay, so listen, let's just do it. Can we do it together? Can we do it together? Oh my lord. Transgenic mice scientific, because that's what we should know. Scientific meaning. You ready, guys? Here we go. So you can just start at the National Institutes of Health. Like you could just start right there, right? But even if you just do the AI overview, I'm going to give you the AI overview first. Okay. Transgenic mice are laboratory mice whose genomes have been altered by the introduction of one or more foreign DNA sequences, which is a transgene, from another species, often used to study genes and biological functions, model diseases, and test experimental medications. Right? That's the top tier line, right? That's what it is. And I've told y'all this a couple of times, but you can go even a little bit further into that, right? So this article is on the National Institutes of Health, right? And it talks about how they use them, right? It started in 1974 when they did it, right? So, I mean, it just figure this out. In other words, listen, here's the fact is that science isn't meant to be natural. I mean, well, it kind of is natural, right? Because DNA is natural. But when you are studying diseases, right, it's what you do. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean by natural. I mean, they're not trying to make mice fuck. Like, that's not the thing. They're not trying to make them fuck. They're not trying to make them like that's not the goal. Like that's not what we're he said that doesn't sound natural. Like what? We're not trying to make them fuck. Like we're studying diseases and figuring out how can we treat them and all the different types of things. So like this shouldn't be hard. I don't care about, so let me just be clear. The person who said, did you care about this before it was brought up by Trump? Are you talking about those people? The people who think that this is a real thing? No, they're not studying transgender. Do y'all not get that? So I just gave you a perfect example. When we are talking about, like, one of the things is hormone treatment, estrogen treatment in women. When women go through menopause or perimenopause, or because they have to have certain types of treatments and they get estrogen treatment. When they get that, one of these studies is it, does it make women more prone to asthma and other things like that, right? So that's part of it. So the idea is it has nothing to do with transgender anything at all. It's just transferred DNA. People, I just explained that. You take DNA from somewhere else, introduce it. That's it. And testosterone for men. Exactly. It's not hard. It's really not hard. Oh, geez, oh, peas. It just, yeah. So these are the, let me just tell y'all, this is what the White House released. 455,000 455 $100,000, a mouse model to test the effects of gender affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccine induced immune responses. Gender affirming hormone therapy is not transgender anything. Gender affirming hormone therapy is women getting estrogen, men giving testosterone. Like, this is not a, that's it. That's not transgender, folks. Gender affirming does not mean transgender. Like, how the fuck do y'all not know that? How do you not know that? No, I'm telling you what the White House specifically said. Right? $2.5 million reproductive consequences of steroid hormone. That's a good thing for people to know, right? We would want to know if you're being given steroids for many different reasons. How will it impact our reproductive system? When you talk about breast cancer risk and treatment outcomes, how does testosterone therapy impact that? None of this is transgender, folks. And the fact that you think so tells me one of two things. You're either disingenuous, right? And you're just here because somebody's paying you to be here and stir the pot and say dumb shit. Or you really refuse to look at facts. Like, that's it. It's either one of the two things. Right? So when I say, if you think that these things are connected, transgender and mice, you may be part of the problem. It's because if you believe that they are connected together, you are part of the problem. Because it has nothing to do with transgender or not at all. It actually has to do with science and studies and research and how we take care of human beings and disease and all different types of things. And it has nothing to do with transgender at all. Nothing. Right? So when I say you may be part of the problem, is if you realize that there's now a debate about this and you're still refusing to look at it, you're still refusing to get facts on it, ask the question. If you have a serious question, ask it. Yeah. It's just the weirdest thing in the world. Y'all spending all your time worried about less than 1% of the population. Thank you, Stacy. Mila, come out. Good catch, Stacy D. Mila, come on, hon. Oh, come here. Mommy got you something. Come here. Here. This is yours. 1 second, guys. Here. Here. Come here. It's a cake pop. Okay, get up there and eat it. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, she was. Those are sprinkles, aren't they? You bite it, but you can lick it if you want. Okay.
Really hard.
Okay, well then lick it. Go sit up there. All right, so let's talk. Yeah, she got a cake pop. Good morning, Ethan. Still, it is here just barely. Okay, so let me go over, since there are new people in the room. You're eating your sprinkles? Okay. So since there are new people in here, let me give you a couple of the guidelines for this space, okay? So number one, I ask that you are respectful, not just to me, but to everybody that's in here. So if there are people on the panel, if there are people in the chat, just be respectful. Number two, do not use slurs of any kind. If you use slurs, you're going to be booted from the live, right? That's going to happen. Number three, don't spam my comments. If you got something you want to say, you can say it. Just don't say it 5 and 6 and 7 times. And then the last one is don't type in all caps. All caps are reserved for moderators, right? All caps are reserved for moderators and for a couple of my folks that I know are vision impaired. So please do not type in all caps. Okay. Those are the folks that it's reserved for. All right. So be respectful. Don't use slurs. Don't spam the live, right? Don't spam the comments. And then don't type in all caps. That's it. Other than that, you are free to disagree with me, and we can have a respectful, fact-based conversation. Yeah. So the real HD, if you have mommy issues, I don't know what to tell you about that. Therapy is a great option. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not your mommy. My name is Danny. You can either call me Danny or just don't give me a name at all. But I'm not mommy. I'm not mommy. I'm not lady. I'm not any of those things. My name is Danny. So you can call me by my name or just leave it off. Okay. Those are the things. Yeah. I know 4 guidelines is really hard. I know, Lewis. Right? 4 guidelines is really, really hard. I know. All right. So Pilar, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Dan. I'm trying to rebound from a NyQuil sleep.
Yeah. That can often be a slow start. What's up? What you got this morning?
I wanted to highlight something, and by the way, thank you for bringing truth and facts to this app. I agree with you 100%. But I wanted to put a spotlight on something that's in relation to Trump's major gaffe, calling this a transgender mice thing. He used a 13-year-old young man who suffered from pediatric cancer.
Yes.
Right? And from the young man's perspective, I'm glad he got his moment. I'm glad this young man's here with us, and I'm glad he's happy. I truly want that from him. But the problem that people are missing in all of this is that Trump cut the very funding that treats and studies pediatric cancer.
Yes.
Just like through methods with transgenic mice study.
Yep.
And this is why, for the right wing, MAGA saying, well, how come Democrats didn't stand up for this young man? That's horrible. This is why, because they know it's a scam. It's a lie. This young man was used as a pawn to tug on the heartstrings of America to make Donald Trump look good, and it was despicable.
Yep. You are correct. You are correct. Yeah. And this is the thing that people don't get about the entire thing. So yesterday, without a federal judge blocking some of these cuts, right? That would absolutely be the thing. When we talk about the medical research that Donald Trump has cut, that's exactly what it is. I don't know why people don't, and I really don't know why. Why do you think that people find it so hard to look for and accept facts?
Because I think they've emotionally invested so much into their own ideologies that there's just a conflict of, what they believe. They enter a realm of cognitive dissonance of trying to reconcile the facts with what they believe in their own mind is real. And sometimes that's hard to come to terms with. I mean, in relation to Trump himself, I mean, my God, some of these people, he's their entire identity for the past, 12 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know? And,
Yep.
and that's a hard thing to break through. And I'm a firm believer that, while lives like this, we're chipping away at it a little bit, I'm a firm believer that none of these people are going to wake up until they are personally affected, whether it's their health or the pocketbook.
Yeah, and
Because these
I
are
don't even know
selfish voters.
then. So like here's my concern, right? Especially as mainstream media doesn't do their part. And when I say doesn't do their part is I believe that media, journalism is supposed to be about fact and truth. And that doesn't mean you repeat everything that someone says just because they say it. It's that you can say what they said, but then you tell the truth. You give the facts that back it up, right? And so my concern is that as we see what our mainstream media has become, and there's not enough fact telling happening, I get concerned about people's ability to get the truth and know it. Just like, okay, so this stuff about the GOP town halls and the fact that they're not having them anymore. They went straight to their talking point was, oh, those are paid everything about anybody that opposes. Yeah, babe. You're eating your lollipop and sprinkles? Is it yummy? Good. I see it. I think the thing for me is like when I see these folks, they went to, oh, well, they must be paid Democratic protesters that are infiltrating. It's always that. It's never that. It's never that. These are just people who live here that are concerned, that have a valid argument. It's always something. And now what you have is you have mainstream media saying GOP congressmen, GOP leaders say that these are Democratic, whatever, instead of saying, that's not a thing. They're not paid actors. We're in the room and we're interviewing people. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if it's even so much the mainstream media, but I think it is social media itself, because I think we entered a perfect storm and it started 15 years ago. I think I got on Facebook for the first time in 2009.
Mhm.
And back then, we didn't even have smartphones yet. I still had a BlackBerry for my business, right?
Yep.
And back then, it was such an infantile stage of Facebook where you posted, you used to say, tell us your mood, right? And I'd
Yes.
say, for instance, I'm tired today and this and that, right? And as it started to kind of evolve, after year, the smartphone came out.
Yeah.
We had our first African-American president, and people that didn't pay any sort of attention to any politics whatsoever, didn't understand basic civics or any of that stuff, are now on this app and they follow these pages, right? Depending on which side you're on. And now these people that weren't really in the conversation are now engaged in the conversation. The problem is they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And now we're living in the fast lane. And after 8 years of our first African-American president, who was one of the best presidents I've ever seen in my entire life, their response to that, for the people that didn't like that, was Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been going down this fast lane highway ever since, where, like I said, you had to make an effort before Facebook to be political. You had to actually turn on some news when news might have been a little bit more
newsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I used to troll this page on Facebook years ago called the Conservative Tribune. And it was mind-blowing how factually incorrect it was. But also, if you clicked on their articles, it was just littered with clickbait ads of breast augmentation and this and that. It was a clear sign to me that I'm like, oh, they're just trying to make money off advertising and sucking in gullible people that don't know any better, right? And so fast forward to today, I'm really grateful that we have this live function on TikTok, because now we're having conversations and exposing people or even educating people on the facts.
Yeah.
And because before on Facebook, it was just black and white print. You couldn't really hold anybody accountable in real time. And so now you have people coming up and watch these lives happen. And I can't help but think it has changed some people and maybe turn their direction, like going, okay, I'm starting to see these things now and I'm getting it. But the rest, like I said, unfortunately, we're on the sinking ship together. But the only way they're going to change is when they're directly impacted by the choices they've made.
Yeah. So when people say that that Donald Trump wasn't a response to Obama, one of the things that I talk about, and I'm not sure if you've been in my lives previously or not, but I've pointed out to people, we know very clearly that it is. In 2012, Mitt Romney was being beaten by Barack Obama, and at the Republican National Convention, the press asked Lindsey Graham why Mitt Romney was losing so badly to Barack Obama. Are you familiar with what Lindsey Graham said?
I do recall the interview you're talking about. Please refresh me though on it.
Okay. Yeah. So his exact words were this: we are losing the demographics race. We are simply not generating enough angry white guys. That's what he said. You can look it up for yourself. That is what Lindsey Graham said. And the point that I always make to people when we're talking about this quote, he didn't just say we're losing the demographics race. We need to turn out more white voters or more male voters or white male voters. He specifically said angry white male voters. That's what Lindsey Graham said. And since that time frame, there has been an intentional use of racial rhetoric, from woke and DEI to all the things, to generate angry white voters. So when people say, "Oh, that's not a thing, you guys are using race," I'm not using race. That's what Lindsey Graham said, right? That's what Lindsey Graham, GOP senator from South Carolina, said.
Well, what's funny about these, what blows me away is these people like Lindsey Graham or Marco Rubio, like I've seen lately, some video collages, right? These people forget we have the receipts of what they have said and their stances are on things.
Yes.
I saw yesterday, it was a reminder, I remember seeing it way back, Marco Rubio being a champion back in 2014.
Ukraine.
For Ukraine.
I posted it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, we have the receipts.
Listen, I have the video of Lindsey Graham sitting in the back of a car. I believe in 2016, and he's talking about Joe Biden. Yep. And he's talking about the fact that Joe Biden is an incredible human being, just a stand-up guy, and that he remembers the day that he spoke with Joe Biden when his son passed. And he talks about just how what a great human being he is. And so it's interesting, and that people will just discount that. They will discount that as if it wasn't true, and it's got to be whatever it is today. And so, yeah, they have sold their souls for the agenda that they have today. And that's what people, that's just where I stand. And I'm not going to say it any other way than what it is. And when people want to talk to me about the Democratic Party, I don't belong to the Democratic Party. I don't belong to any party. I tend to vote Democratic because I vote for policies that are good for human beings, just for humanity overall. I believe that children should be able to eat. I believe that we should have health care. I believe that being poor is not a crime and it shouldn't be criminalized, and all of those different things, right? So for the person in the comments who said, "Oh, you're a liberal," that's funny. I am. A liberal is someone who believes in freedom and liberty, right? And so I do believe in liberty. I do believe that people should not be criminalized and people should not be penalized for the circumstances of their birth. I do not believe that people should be penalized for who they are as people. If I'm born, no matter the color of my skin, no matter the gender or sex that I identify as, yeah. So when you say I'm a liberal, liberal to me is not an insult. Liberal is exactly what. So if you look up the definition, let's just have fun, folks. If you look up the definition of liberal, right? Because I think words are important, right? So the definition of liberal is, number one, willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas. That's me. I'm absolutely willing to respect your behavior or your behavior that is different from my own, as long as that behavior is not harming other people, right? So as long as your right to your thoughts and your behavior does not infringe upon the rights of others, have at it. And yes, I am open to new ideas.
You've literally spoken word for word what I've said before. I've told a couple of my male buddies that my support for LGBTQ and transgender people, it's not that I'm supporting, say, the act between two men, right?
Mhm.
Or the act of transitioning. It's not so much that. It's a much bigger picture, and you pretty much nailed it. It's about freedom. It's about being free to be who you want to be, love who you want to love, your skin color, all that stuff. That's true freedom right
Yep.
there.
Yeah. My
Right.
thing is this, as long as the person that you are, the person that you are loving and having sexual relations, as long as that person is of consenting age, none of my damn business.
It's none of my business. And I'm an atheist, right? And I went through my period of time where I was like angry at religion, but I found that my atheism, and I act like it's a religion, it's obviously not, but I found it was in conflict with my overall philosophy in life. And that is to let people live their lives however they want, including loving whatever God you want or no God at all. So actually, as far as your rights goes, as an atheist, I will stand and defend you and your religious rights, but just don't push in my politics or my public schools.
So this is what I tell people. When people say Christianity is under attack, no, it's not. Christianity, in terms of Christian nationalism, that is what people are resisting. People are not attacking Christianity. People are defending themselves against Christian nationalism. When you try to put your religion into the laws that dictate my life, that's where we have a problem, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got no problem with you and Jesus and Moses and your 10 commandments. Just don't try to put those 10 commandments in public schools where everybody attends, because that's not them, right?
And I've always said, and I hopefully I'm correct in saying this, but if it's a private school, right, where you see the menu, you're like, okay, I want to sign up and pay for that. That's fine.
Yep.
But in public schools, people need to understand that public schools are technically sort of a government entity, right? And it's funded by the taxpayers.
Correct.
So we need to ask ourselves, who are the taxpayers? Well, the taxpayers are people that consist of many different religions or no religions at all.
Yes. Yep. 100%. And this is my thing. There's nothing wrong with the 10 commandments, Isaac. What is wrong is if you try to put the 10 commandments in school. Now, if you want to put the 10 commandments in school, and you also want to put things from the Muslim faith in school, and you also want to put things from the satanic faith in school, and the Wiccan school, and paganism and Buddhism and all of that, if you want to do all of that, then have at it, right? But we're not going to pick one religion to put in our schools. And the founding fathers, I've talked Hinduism, Sikh, right? Oh, not so loud, sissy. All the things. So I'm going to tell you this. This is the facts, okay? So in 1785, so just 9 years after 1776, in 1785, James Madison had an issue with a bill that was being proposed in Virginia. Are you familiar with this?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so in 1785, they were introducing this first bill in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and it was to make it so that the state was going to pay for the salaries for Christian teachers that teach Christianity. And James Madison said, absolutely not. He wrote this document. It's in my link tree. It's called Memorial and Remonstrance Against Religious Assessments. It was done around June 20th in 1785. And let me tell you what he says. It's an absolutely incredible document. There's 15 major points in it that are just astounding, but I'm going to summarize them, okay? But he says, listen, a couple of things. This whole government Christianity thing is why we left. She's chasing my cat and the cat's chasing her. Not so loud, sissy. But that's why we left where we were, right? And we have not so soon forgotten this lesson that we learned when we broke from England, right? But he talks about this other thing. He says, first of all, let me just also tell you that for you to think that you have to put religion into government is an offense not only to man, but to God, as if God needs you to help win Christians. He said, listen, let me tell you something. He said the whole purpose behind free will is for people to work out their faith through their own conscience. And he says, if you take that conscious choice from them, you now insult God. He said, and as soon as you put Christianity and you pick one religion and you put it into law, then what's to say that you then don't choose one form of that religion? So all of a sudden it's Catholicism and over Baptists, or it's Protestants, or it's Presbyterians, or it's Episcopalians, right? He says, you're going down this slippery slope. He says, absolutely, we will not do such a thing. And he said, and by the way, every time that we have ever introduced Christianity and government together, the result has been tyranny. We have created tyrants every time that we have done this. And I don't know why people don't seem to get this. Look back through history. History is one of our greatest teachers. Every time that we have used Christianity in government to make law, we have 100% created tyranny, and the people have suffered. And that's what he says. And so when you get all the way down, like I said, it's 15 points and they are incredible. But he goes on. And so at the very end, this is the 15th point. He says, because finally, quote, the equal right of every citizen to the free exercise of his religion according to the dictates of conscience, end quote, is held by the same tenure with all our other rights. If we recur to its origin, it is equally the gift of nature. If we weigh its importance, it cannot be less dear to us. If we consult, quote, the declaration of those rights which pertain to the good people of Virginia as the basis and foundation of government, end quote, it is enumerated with equal solemnity, or rather studied emphasis. Either then we must say that the will of the legislature is the only measure of their authority, and that in the plenitude of this authority they may sweep away all our fundamental rights, or that they are bound to leave this particular right untouched and sacred. Either we must say that they may control the freedom of the press, they may abolish the trial by jury, they may swallow up the executive and judiciary powers of the state, nay, that they may despoil us of our very right of suffrage and erect themselves into an independent and hereditary assembly, or we must say that they have no authority to enact into the law the bill under consideration. He said, when you do this, you are now saying they can take away every single right that we have if they take away this one.
And they're doing it right now.
And they are doing it right now. And it's amazing to me. So like, I did another podcast episode. So I have a podcast. It's called The Danny Cook Show, right? And in this other episode, I'm talking about this document, but I also talk about the Federalist Papers. And so in the very first Federalist paper, Alexander Hamilton is writing, and he talks about this place that we're going to get. He talks about this union that we're creating. And he says, what we will have is in people that are opposing this. He said, hold on, I want to tell you verbatim, because he said, it will be our greatest challenge. He said, there will be one class of men who will not want their powers to be taken away. Those men in the states will not want their powers to be subverted by this federal government. He said, and then there will be other men who will seek to aggrandize themselves by causing confusion and separating us from under the union. And that's exactly what we have right now. This whole give it back to the states bullshit is exactly that.
Yeah, and and Trump had said once they realized that they were starting to get some flack for it, that he had nothing to do with Project 2025. Well, explain to me how one of the main architects, Russell Voigt, is now in his
OPM.
administration.
Yeah, OPM. So Russell Voigt was an OPM during Trump's first administration. So what a lot of people don't realize is so this whole thing about firing a bunch of federal workers and replacing them, they actually attempted that during the first administration. So the very first executive order that was done to try to kind of put Schedule F in place, they tested the water in 2018, and then a DC Circuit Court put in an injunction to stop it. And then an appellate court said, listen, it's not in your jurisdiction to do that. And so what happened is on October 21st of 2020, Donald Trump did an executive order to establish Schedule F, which if you know what Schedule F is, this is the way that it works. When you hire federal workers, we have different categories under which they are hired under. Schedule A, B, C, D, F. Okay. Now, Schedule A may say we're going to give preferential treatment to veterans because they serve this country. So if they have the same qualifications as someone else and they've served this country, then we're gonna give them preferential treatment. They do the same thing for people with disabilities and so forth and so on. So different categories give different reasons for people to be hired. Doesn't have anything to do with them having lower skill sets. It's if the skill sets are there, then they might get this preferential treatment. And it depends upon what they're under. Now, all of these are protected by collective bargaining agreements. It's just like having a union. Appreciate you, Smile City. Now, here's what happened is when they say we're going to create Schedule F, what they did is they said, listen, we want all of these departments to look across the positions in your agencies. And we want you to select certain positions to move over into Schedule F so that these people no longer have those collective bargaining protections. These people no longer have the normal process. And so what it took away from them is normally a federal employee would have to be notified in advance if they were going to be fired. They would have the ability to appeal that. They would have the ability to take it before the merit review board. All of these different steps were in place.
So Danny, the workers at the CFPB, were they moved to a Schedule F, or how did that work?
Yeah, so it just depends on I don't really know because they didn't tell us. There's no transparency, right? But here's what happens is, okay, so they tried to do Schedule F, but guess what happened? Joe Biden won the election. So this is what happened is literally January, the day after Joe Biden was sworn into office, he rescinded this executive order. So the executive orders are, the last one is Executive Order 13957. That is the one with that Schedule F, right? So when you look at what happened is after Joe Biden rescinded it, the office, the United States Government Accountability Office, they did an investigation to find out what would have happened, right? And so here's how it goes. I'm actually pulling up the document, which is also in my link tree. Okay, everything that I'm telling you is in my link tree. Okay. So it says agency responses and perspectives on former executive order to create a new Schedule F category of federal positions. And it also says this is the accessible version. Yes, ma'am.
I see my Sonic is.
Yeah, where is your Sonic? Did you leave it in the car?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go get it as soon as I'm done. We'll go get it. Okay, I got it for you. And so if it says accessible version, that tells me there's a version that's not accessible to the public, right? But when you look at this document, I've pulled up the PDF version. It says why did they do this study? And it says on October 21st, 2020, the president issued Executive Order 13957, which is the one that I just gave you. And here's what it says. It says that the stated intent was to expedite the hiring and removal of, quote, employees in confidential policy determining, policy making, or policy advocating positions. And then the incoming administration, which was Biden, revoked it on the 22nd of January, 2021. What was the name of the Monroe people? James Madison. And it was a memorial and a remonstrance. That's the name, Gio. And that was James Madison. And it is in my link tree. So anyway, when you go through it, OPM is in here. There's a bunch of them. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you because the whole document is here, but get this. According to their analysis, when they looked at all of these agencies, 2 of them had submitted written requests to the Office of OPM, which is what Russell Voigt is over, to place positions into Schedule F, right? And then other agencies had said, we're not going to put any over there. And others said, hey, listen, we haven't finished doing this. So we'll kind of like go and, we'll get back with it later, right? At that time, it affected 415 employees for the Office of Management and Budget. They had requested to place 136 positions into Schedule F. That would have impacted 415 employees or 68% of their workforce at the time.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It's insane, right? So, but guess what? The other agencies that were included was the U.S. International Boundary and Water Commission. That's kind of in it, and they wanted to place 5 positions over there, which would have impacted. It was 5 out of their 234 at the time, and 13 other agencies communicated that that they were going to do different implementations. So 7 of them said that they needed additional time. 6 said that they would not request positions to be placed into Schedule F for various reasons. But this entire report is there. So when people say, oh, this wasn't a thing, it was a thing. And they tested the waters during his first administration. And now and that's why they've kind of been able to move things along so fast. Now, the reason why I can't say how they were able to fire people is because I do know that he did this executive order already, right? I do know that. He implemented Schedule F like damn near within the first week of him being sworn into office. So that I do know. What I don't know, because they're not transparent, is how many of these agencies moved positions into Schedule F, right?
Well, we know the the CFPB was completely annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
Yep.
So, I mean, matter of fact, I watched. It was on 60 Minutes 2 weeks ago, and they did the whole first segment on it, and they showed Elon's 6 and 20-year-old minions. One's, I think, named Big Balls, because that's who you want in our government, right?
Right.
And going through all the IRS and everything else, but they could just completely shut the entire agency down. What I find ironic about that is, Doge was put here for apparently finding wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if we focus on those last 2 words, fraud and abuse,
yep.
The CFPB was put there to protect you and I from fraud and abuse.
Yep. Yeah. So let me just tell you. So I happen to be fairly familiar with the FTC and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, specifically because I was heavily involved and still am in fighting a medical monopoly that was created through the state legislature in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. So I've been talking to the FTC since 2018, right? And part of it is consumer fraud protection is kind of going hand in hand with, when you file a complaint or you give a like a personal comment or whatever, what they want to do is they ask you, is it under competition or is it under consumer protection? And my thing is oftentimes those two things are intersecting. So pick and choose, you know what I mean? Whichever one you're talking about.
Remind me, was the CFPB put there? Pardon me. Let me clear my. Like I said, I'm trying to rebound from this cold.
No worries.
CFPB put there by Elizabeth Warren after the Great Recession took place and the whole bailout of the banks, or was that something different in relation to Frank Dodd?
So my understanding, and I don't know, it's not my specialty, but I know that it was founded in 2011. People in the comments are saying yes, but I don't know. But I know that it was founded in 2011. And yeah, it is referred to as the Dodd-Frank Act.
Dodd-Frank, correct. So
yep.
What's crazy about that is, and I just actually discovered this a couple months ago when I watched the movie. There's a movie called The Big Short that was out, and there's a lot of great actors in it, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale, and all that. And it basically describes how we got into the Great Recession. It was due to this lack of regulations with the banks giving out basically the subprime loan. Mm-hmm. That literally collapsed our entire economy, and we had to bail them out.
Yes.
And that is why this was put forth to protect us from that ever happening again. And now they're just removing it and creating the Wild West again.
Yes, which, I've tried to tell people, because you can hear my grandbaby running around. So I remember the days of when the FTC said no MCI, you can't be a thing, right? Monopolization and these mergers and all of the stuff that we're doing now is really, really dangerous. When I look and I think about the idea of Facebook becoming intertwined with TikTok should be alarming to anybody, because TikTok was the only competitive, like truly competitive alternative to Facebook, right? And I don't know if people even realize this. One of the reasons why one of the reasons why TikTok was able to kind of get back up and you saw your algorithm change is because so there are software that companies have, right? And it's open source. And so that is one of the things that TikTok did was TikTok started using Facebook's open source technology after the ban in order to get back up and running. That is why if you saw content creators saying that Facebook bought TikTok, which was not a thing, they were screenshotting this part where you can go into your settings on your TikTok account and you can see that it is saying that Facebook has it's open source, and people don't understand if it's open source code that means anybody can use it. But when you use somebody else's open source code, what do they get in exchange? They're getting the data, they're getting something, right? Because it's still theirs. You just get to use it. And so I just seeing any relationship between those two entities is concerning. I don't know what you can do about it, but I know that it's concerning, right? I want to give somebody, because somebody said this, and I'm just kind of looking it up because somebody's talking about what Clinton did and reducing the federal government's workforce by more than 300 and some odd employees, right? It was done. We got to talk about how it was done, right? Versus what Trump and Musk are doing now and the time period over which it was done. Okay. So what they did was Clinton announced the creation of the National Performance Review, which was led by Al Gore, right? And so that's how they decide they are not the same. They are not the same. The review lasted 6 months. They made 384 recommendations to improve the federal bureaucracy. And that time period, it took over 7 years for them to do it. So, and it required some legislation to go through Congress in order to have it done. Right, from 1993 to 2000. Correct, KK, right? So when people are comparing these two things and saying, oh, well, there was no uproar, they were not done the same way. And oh my God, let facts be your damn friend.
Well, and that's what I've always said is that, when you're doing an analysis, on an agency for spending and all that stuff, that forensic analysis takes time.
Yes.
It just does. Okay. And to show that Elon has recklessly expedited this process, he's made great mistakes. I think we all should know by now that when he attacked the energy sector, they went, oh my gosh, we fired 300 people that were responsible for maintaining our nuclear arsenal.
Right.
I don't know, call me crazy. I don't want America's version of Chernobyl on our hands.
Well, and what was his response to that, though? Well, we're not going to get it right all the time, What? This is not one of those things where you can just oh shit, got that one wrong. That's not, you don't.
I got to drop down, but I wanted to thank you, and I appreciate seeing finally an adult in the room. You have an awesome weekend.
Well, thank you. You too. I appreciate you. Come back anytime.
Take care.
You too. All right. So, hey, Mila, come out the bathroom, love. She made her way back there, y'all. So, listen, the thing that people have to really come to terms with, if your response to any question or criticism about what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing is to bring up Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, that tells me that you are not truly interested in the process. If you were truly interested in facts, you would be willing to look up what they are doing right now. If your only response is to default back to Biden, Obama, or Clinton, it's just disingenuous. Can we talk about the present moment? And let me just say this, even if people, oh, okay, well, life is good. Come see me. I invited you to the panel. I'm not deflecting. I'm literally coming straight at you. I've invited you to the panel. I sent you a direct personal invitation to come to the panel. So let's see if you deflect. Let's see if you deflect. Let me guess. Are you at work? Are you putting a baby to sleep? Are you cooking? Are you driving? What are you doing? Because you're not coming up to the panel. So what are you doing? How will you deflect my invitation to come to the panel? Yeah, see, this is what happens, right? You do all that yappity yapping in the comments, but then you won't come to the panel and have a fact-based conversation. Right? And that's what I'm interested in, is facts and not how you feel. That's what I'm interested in, folks. Sunlight 58. Good afternoon. How are you? Oh, you might not be connecting. Oh, there you go. Good afternoon. How are you? Sunlight. Sunlight. Did you mean to request up? Nope. I'm going to assume not. Not assuming. I'm just going to say no because I brought you up and talked and you didn't do. All right. Appreciate it, Julian. So listen, folks, a couple of things that I do want to talk about today is, as we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the Federal Department of Education. And I don't know if you all saw that by the end of the day, they were saying that the Trump administration had done a reversal in terms of its position on issuing an executive order to dismantle them, right? 1 second. Hey, DeBoss, I'm going to bring you up for a second while I go check on this grand girl of mine. 1 moment. You got it?
Yep.
All right.
Morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
You what,
if this is your first time to Danny's Live, welcome. Make sure we're not spamming the comments. Tap that screen, share the live. We've got 362 people in here. Morning, Janice. 362 people in here. Let's get Danny's likes up to 125,000. We can do that pretty easily. See what else we got. Yeah, if you're first time with Danny, yeah, all you get is facts. All you get is great information. Go to her link tree. There's tons of information in her link tree. I can say probably 95% of what she speaks about is in her link tree for factual references. All the resources are there. Make sure that you are understanding that this space she does want to hear from those people with different points of view, but we gotta have some dialogue. Who was that she was trying to come up and didn't join? I don't remember who that was in the space. If you're not a subscriber, you can subscribe to Danny and check that box up top. It says 25 hearts. And check that to make sure you join her team. Join the live, become what we call Danikins. That's what we call her. That's what we call ourselves. We really, Danny does a lot of important work in the community. Danny does a lot of important work to ensure that when she goes live, that she's bringing you data that she's researched. It's not just feelings. It's always facts. And if she's going to give you her opinion about something, she'll state it as her opinion before she gives her argument in said area.
Right here. Good girl. Thank you.
Get her live go.
Whew, appreciate you guys.
You got to reset your live, sis. Your live goal.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
They just knocked it down.
Love that. Appreciate that. Holy geez. What a day. I honestly did not realize that the mice and the trans symbol was going to send people off to, like, in the Never Never Land. I just didn't think they were going to be that upset about it.
Well, that's their thing. So what I actually came up for is
what?
Prior to Trump making that comment or that statement during the speech, he went on this 5-10 minute speech about the young lady out of Florida, her mother, Jennifer Littlejohn. You know who Jennifer Littlejohn is?
Yep.
Okay, so she was in the gallery that night, and he was speaking to her experience at school and how the school had plotted to transition her daughter without the parents' knowledge and then being aware of it. And then he made the comment about the transgender mice or whatever, and he didn't misspeak. He knows exactly what he's doing. I think we all understand that he understands and they understand what they're doing. Demonizing trans people for their own, because hey, the easiest way to do what you want to do to somebody that may not be the right thing is to demonize you first.
Yep, 100%.
I don't think when people are going through a divorce, they have all these pleasantries for their significant other, right? That's not typically how it works. So they spent the night on that subject. So what and I know you know, for those that don't know who Jennifer Littlejohn is, because you brought her up before. You brought her up before with that little smirk on your face. You brought her up before. Well, here's why it's so important that people watch the speech, and she sat in that gallery while he was speaking, and she nodded her head in confirmation the entire time, knowing that it was a bunch of crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, I mean, I would like you to kind of explain to them who she is and what, because this topic came up after that. So he took multiple shots at the trans community in that speech.
Yeah. So I mean, she sued the school district in Florida, claiming that the school had socially transitioned her child. Yeah, me too, Uka. And all of this, but people have flat out called her a liar, and people are saying it's, anyway. What do you want to point out about it? Because I brought up a couple of things on it. If you want to.
Yeah, what I wanted to point out is when they go on that narrative about these schools, teaching, trying to indoctrinate their children and all of that, if she's not in her head and like it actually happened, It didn't happen that way.
It did not. And I mean, she's associated with damn Moms for Liberty, folks.
For Liberty. Correct. So as she sits, so I really want people to understand while she sits in that gallery and nods her head in confirmation of what he's saying, she knows full well that it's a lie.
Yeah, her case was dismissed in January of 2023. When the judge dismissed it, the judge actually dismissed it and said that it didn't meet the standard that federal case law requires. And even though the Child and Parental Rights Campaign, which is who represented her, appealed the decision, it's still pending in the 11th Circuit. So let me just say this, folks. Having been someone that assisted a parent with a federal lawsuit around Title 10 and racial discrimination and whatever, I can tell you that if you have the evidence and if you have the facts, it ain't like, not only did my parents' case not get dismissed, the DOJ joined her lawsuit and they won the decision. So when a judge dismisses it and says, listen, you don't meet the standard for filing this court case, it's pretty cut and dry, period.
Pretty cut and dry. And there were emails between her and the school where she's acknowledging that her daughter is transitioning. I'm using the air quotes here, transitioning, and she wants to go by pronouns they, them. And she was acknowledging that was okay to do at school.
Correct. And this is my thing. So I want for people to understand the difference between social transitioning and transitioning. So when Donald Trump uses this as, right, she was okay with it, Season. But when Donald Trump says this, and he loosely uses the word, oh, your child goes to the school, they transition, and then they come home. They basically said you have no facts on your side. Right. But so follow me, y'all. When social transition just is when a child says, listen, I want to identify differently and I want to use different pronouns. Now, can we talk about all the ways that adolescents, preteens, and teens transition socially? Can we talk about when they develop new nicknames and ways that they want to be addressed? Ways that they start dressing, they want to be seen different, whether that's goth, whether that's whatever. Children socially transition in a ton of different ways, right? So why are we so focused on this pronoun thing? Why is that? Right, Brittany, their emo phase is always fun. Goth, emo, punk, whatever it is. Okay. We've all seen people go through their different exploration of how they want to express themselves and identify, right? This is nothing new. And in case y'all don't understand this about children, the bigger a damn deal you make of it, the more it's going to be an issue, because having been a woman who's raised two teenage girls, what I will tell you is they are going to figure out for themselves who the fuck they are. And the harder you push against that self-discovery, the more intense and extreme it is going to be. I'm going to say that one more time. You might not like it, but what I know about teens, and other parents, feel free to jump in if you want, is that children are going to explore for themselves who they are. And the more that you resist, the more that you demonize, the more that you try to protest and protect, the more extreme that exploration is going to become, because you are literally keeping them from figuring who they are for themselves. We're not talking about children. This was a 13-year-old child.
Right.
And so when you talk about children and teens are different, I would ask you to show me documentation and proof of schools that are transitioning children, because I don't know what you think teachers have time to do at school. Let me just be clear about this shit. I don't know what you all think teachers have time to do at school, but indoctrinating your child into the use of a pronoun is not on the fucking agenda.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in the teacher's lounge. This shit is so ridiculous. It's absurd.
Right.
I mean, just the idea of it. But you said it earlier, Danny, is people aren't using their. And I want to think most people have common sense, but yeah, just ask yourself, when would this be happening? Right? The answer is not never, right? Not nowhere. I mean, it's really, but it's sad though, Danny, because they want to vilify the trans community.
Carla.
Listen,
Yeah.
when they start marching in the street for white supremacy, then I'll take them serious. When they start marching to take away other people's rights, then I'll take them serious. When they start marching and protesting to take away the Department of Education and cut off, then I will have an issue with their position.
Correct.
But until then, don't tell me the trans community is a problem in your life,
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah, because they're not. And
because it's not a thing.
And I'm going to say this, and I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today because it bears repeating. It is worth repeating 1,000 times every damn day. When you say, like somebody said in my comments yesterday, that this is about fairness to girls, I call bullshit. I call bullshit, hands down bullshit, because if we were a society concerned about fairness to girls, we would have equal pay for equal work. If we were worried, if we were concerned about fairness to girls, they would not be victim blamed and victim shamed. If we were worried about fairness to girls, we would not be running down their whole, what do we call it? What's your body count? We wouldn't be worried about their body count after they've been essayed and graded. If this was about fairness to girls, right, Carol, ERA would be in the damn Constitution. This is not about fairness to girls. This ain't about girls at all. This is about the newest, latest, greatest thing to advance the Christian nationalist agenda.
Period.
That the fuck is it, folks. Because y'all have figured out that AB ain't the way to go. Y'all have figured out that the vast majority of Americans, even Christians, are not behind a national AB ban. So y'all had to figure out some new shit to advance your agenda. And let me tell you something. You hit it on the head, Michael, when you said they want to demonize trans individuals. Let me just say this. I say this all the time. The fastest way to give someone permission to demonize and treat someone as if they are less than human is to begin to speak about them as if they are less than human. When you begin to talk about people in terms that are not humane, and I'm going to tell you something, you might not like this, but I don't even do it with Donald Trump. You will never hear me call him orange. You will never hear me call him Cheeto. You will never hear me call him 45. You won't. And the reason why is 45 is a number. Cheeto is a food. Orange is a color. None of those things are human. Now, in my opinion, he might be a shitty fucking human, but he's still a human being.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? So I won't call him anything other than that. He might be a really shitty fucking human being, but he is still a human being. And what I know is that when we begin to call each other as less than human, we give ourselves permission to treat each other as less than human. And folks, that is how we got slavery. That is how we got slavery.
100%. And listen, just for full disclosure, I think I've called him all those things. I probably haven't called him Cheeto. I did call him Peach Moscato color, but I won't that. I won't listen, Daddy. You know I own my shit. So
I know.
You know what? The worst kind of person is one that does what is happening, right? The one that does what is happening, and they're doing it in full 4K, and people think that this is okay. It's not okay.
Nope.
Well, actually, then I'll drop down. Because I know you didn't watch it, but there was a couple of things.
You know I didn't watch it.
I know. When he was talking about the CHIPS Act, you said how horrible the CHIPS Act was.
And Republicans said, shut the fuck up because we don't think they're going to get behind it.
Right. But let me tell you what happened, though. The thing that he snuck in there, I don't know if you've heard this. He said, he was giving Mike Johnson the authority to basically shut it down. And what he said was, shut it down, use some of the money to reduce debt, and do whatever you want with the rest. You can use the rest however you want.
And that's not the way it works.
He said, and he looked over at Mike Johnson when he said it. I'm like, use the rest however you want.
But we're worried about wasteless spending. But use it however you want.
Exactly. And again, the only reason I bring those things up, Daddy, and then I'll drop down and get back to mine. The only reason I bring those up because when people are talking about their objectives and their agenda, what he said to Mike Johnson goes squarely against what they're telling you.
100%.
So you gotta just continue to use it. You wouldn't take that message from your personal accountant.
No.
Everybody's doing their taxes right now, right? Everybody's doing their taxes right now. You would not take the direction he's giving. You would not take that if your accountant was given the same direction about your personal finances. You wouldn't.
Right.
You would question the shit out of it. You'd be like, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's so crazy, but we have to stay vigilant on facts and what's real and what's not real. And you put that in great focus over the last couple of months about executive orders and what can happen and what has to go through the courts. And now they've demonized your girl.
Which one?
Barron.
Oh. Yeah, you know her ass ain't never been my girl. I'm okay with her. Listen, even not great people can do some good things. You know what I mean? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Right.
That's my favorite saying. But now they're demonized her.
Right, because because she went against Trump. Period. And that is so. Listen, I'm just going to share this with you, right? Not with you, Michael, but with everybody else that's listening. If you are mad at everybody that opposes Trump, whether you like it or not, you might want to explore the fact that you may be holding cultish beliefs. I'm not going to say you're in a cult. What I'm going to say is that you might be thinking and practicing and behaving in cultish tendencies. Because if all you're going to do is defend one person, no matter what anybody else says or does, and if you are going to demonize and be against one person, for anybody that is against that one person, yeah, you got problems. 100%.
If you pull up the 5 major characteristics of a cult, they check all 5 boxes.
All 5 boxes.
All 5 boxes, and it's not even up for debate. And so it's something that people just need to examine within themselves. But hey, who wants to hear the day after their honeymoon that their spouse may have been cheating on their honeymoon?
Right. Yep. And can I go ahead and I'm gonna give you a little bit of info. Then I know you, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. But I appreciate you, the boss, as always. So let me just say this. For all that trans talk, the legislation to ban trans athletes from girls and women's sports failed to advance in the Senate on the 3rd. So for all of it, it failed to advance. It was a vote along party lines, period. Right? People have asked me, what do I think about Gavin Newsom throwing Dems across under the bus? Number one, Gavin Newsom expressed his opinion. He's entitled to it. That's what I think about it. I think he's entitled to his opinion. I also think that his opinion is not accurately informed and is fact-based. Let me just say that. Gavin Newsom has, for a very, very long time, done this dance with Trump. And so I keep Gavin Newsom like I keep many middle-aged white men at arm's length. Many middle-aged white men that are in politics that have political aspirations. I don't care what side of the aisle they're playing on today. I keep all of their asses like this. So I'm just saying. That's what I think. Gavin Newsom ain't nobody's savior. He is not the Democratic Jesus. He don't do it for me. So you don't have to like it. You asked for my opinion, so I gave it to you. That's what I think. Okay. It's the same way I think. And again, some of y'all gonna look at me sideways, and I don't care. I'm gonna call a thing, right? It's the same way I feel about white women who say they are allies, right? And then you ran around buying blue bracelets. Y'all was marching in the Women's March. And after damn 2022, when the Dobbs decision came down, y'all swore up and down y'all were ride or damn die. And then 53% of you went and voted for damn Trump. So I do y'all just like this. Right? I wait to see what you do, not what you say. Period. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Okay? So just, it is what it is. And that's not demonizing white people at all. That is me saying, I am judging you by your fruit. I am simply judging you by your fruit. And until I know different, I'm going to say, okay, well, this is what the majority did. Now, that doesn't mean that you are part of the majority, but until I know that you are not, I'm just going to, by default, be prudently cautious because wisdom has taught me such. Right? Do I think church is a completely different category from cult and community? No, I do not. Depends on the church. So I think you would have to define church for me, Jen and Blaze. What I would say is that there are many churches that are both cult, that are cult and church. I think it depends upon the church. I'm trying to look at. No, John Corner, I'm not judging you by the color of your skin. Did you hear what I just said? I'm not judging you personally. I'm not judging you personally. I am saying that historically speaking, based on this demographic and the behavior of this demographic has been this thing. So until I know you personally to be doing something different, I'm just going to not make any assumption that you will be doing anything different. Right? It's the same way I do all men. Let me be clear. We can do this all damn day. We can do this all damn day. I do this for all men. Listen to me. All men. If I leave a building at late at night and it is dark outside and I am walking to my car, I am cautious of every male that I see that comes out of the building behind me until I know that male is going to be different. That ain't judging you. That is judging by what history and statistic tells me. Just so we understand. Yeah, this applies in different categories. Now, if you take it personal, what that tells me is you are centering it around you. And that again is the problem. If you are offended by what I'm saying, that's because you have made you the center of what I'm saying instead of understanding the position of other people. And that, again, is probably part of the problem. If in response to what I said, your reaction was about you, then you have centered yourself in what I'm saying. White centering, male centering. Just saying. So I'm just going to tell you, if your response when I talked about white males was to say something about you, you are centering yourself. And that comes from your place of privilege, which is the problem. If you are a white woman and your response to what I said was to immediately let everybody in here know that you weren't one of them, you centered yourself. And that is part of the problem. If you put in the comments that you didn't have to vote for him and you didn't get a blue bracelet, you might as well have bought a fucking bracelet, people, because it's the same thing. You still needed to let everybody know you weren't one of them. And I'm going to share with you my perspective about this. When my LGBTQIA individuals, right? When LGBTQIA folks talk about their experiences and their caution around cis heterosexual peoples, I don't have to say to them, I'm not this, or I'm that, or I would never support this. I don't do that. Because it ain't about me. Yeah, babe. Okay, let me see. I don't have to tell someone that I'm an ally. They number one, I don't get to tell you I'm your ally. You get to determine. Okay, we'll get it off. You get to determine if I'm your ally. Put the lids back on them. Oh, you did. Good job, sis. You got it? Right? You got to ask yourself, why do you feel the need to say, oh, that ain't me? Why? Why do you feel the need to let people know that ain't you? Mila, cousin Carla says hi.
Hi.
She said hi, Carla. Just throwing that out there, folks, right? And just because I know how I feel, I don't expect for every LGBTQ person to know who I am and how I feel. But you don't have to show me solidarity by what you say. You show me solidarity in how you act. You show me solidarity on what you do. So the way that you show solidarity is you stand up in your circles of influence. You educate the people that are in your life. You correct your family at your dinner table. You use your platform and your social media to put out content to your people. Showing solidarity doesn't say I'm here or I didn't do anything against you. Solidarity doesn't say I didn't do anything against you. Solidarity is doing something for me without me having to know you are doing it. Solidarity is fighting the fight for me, whether I know it or not. Solidarity is you doing the work amongst your folk. Your solidarity has nothing to do with me. I don't need to know your solidarity. Right? That's what it is. So like my solidarity is when I am arguing up and down with homophobic, transphobic black folk about LGBTQIA folks. And I don't go back and tell my LGBTQIA friends and acquaintances, listen what I did for you today. Nah. I just say, what you doing? That's my solidarity. That's my solidarity when somebody says that shit in one of my lives or in a chat, and I say, listen, keep them slurs up out of here. You got to fucking go. I don't do homophobic shit. I don't do it. And I don't care who you are. But when I do it, I don't go into other spaces and have to say, hey, you see what I did for you today? Or just so you know, I'm fighting the good fight against these folk. Solidarity is simply how you live. And it's what you do in your spaces, not what you do in ours. It's what you do in your spaces. Right? And so this is why I say the things I say. And I know sometimes listen, sometimes I get on my subscribers, and especially my subscribers that are in my Discord, right? And I get on them about their words, and I get on them about their perspectives, and I get on them about where they're putting their focus, right? And there's a lot of negative shit that we could focus on every day. But I keep asking folks, are you focusing more on the problems or the solutions? Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your intention? And it's not saying that nothing bad is happening. We know that bad things are happening. We do know that. And we can know it and we can acknowledge it. But I need there to be a significant spread in where you're investing your energy and your time. How much of your energy and your time and your emotional currency are you spending focusing on the negative and the problems? And how much of it are you spending focusing on the solutions? And I know one of my subscribers put in the chat, I'm just one of those people that I have to know the why. Here's a newsflash. You will never, ever, ever, ever fucking know why. And even if you do, it will not justify what's happening. Let me say that again. You will never, ever know why. And even if you do, it will never be enough to justify what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you when I learned that lesson. When I learned that lesson is when I started going, why did someone SA me as a kid? The truth is, it don't matter why. Because whatever the fucking reason is, it would never be enough to make it okay. It don't matter. And do you want to know why you will most likely never know why people do the hurtful, harmful things they do? It's because most people don't know why they do what they do themselves. Most people don't know why they do what they do themselves. Because if they did, if they had that much self-awareness, they wouldn't be doing the damn thing they're doing. If these were people, that were self-aware, that were present, that were investigating their hurts and their pains and their traumas, they wouldn't be doing the hurtful, harmful shit they're doing. So you were expecting to get something from other people that they can't even get to themselves. Right? For anybody in here that's ever been SA'd, is there a reason that someone that could give you that would make it okay? I promise you there's not. Even if they said, I did it because it happened to me, you would be like, well, damn, if it happened to you, you should know better than to do it to me. Right? There's never anything that they could say. And I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm not trying to classify people. I don't know if you're a psychopath, a sociopath, and I don't know what you are. All I know is what you are is not for me. And so I'm going to be focused on what are the other things that I can do, right? It's not that I don't know the bad shit's happening. I know it is. But I cannot do a damn thing about Elon Musk and those folks locking people out of their damn computers. I can't. What I can do is say to people, listen, this shit is going to be done through an executive order. It is going to go to court. The court is going to undo it 9 times out of 10. So until then, stay grounded, take some deep breaths, find a way to get centered, and then be about the business of moving us forward. Are you phone banking? Are you texting? Are you having conversations with the people in your life? Are you doing that? Are you using every platform and every tool that you have available to you to put out facts and truth? Right, Beach Bum, it's a number 3. For those of you all, when you are in my chats and on my lives and I keep talking about what you can or can't do about something, and you see people in my chat putting up a 1, a 2, or a 3, that is because of a training that I did one day, and the PDF is in my link tree. But I did this little live one day, right? And I'm just going to draw these circles right here. See these 3 circles? You have a 1, a 2, and a 3. Everything that's in the 1 circle, that's what you can control. That is what you can control. If it ain't in a 1, you can't control it. That is what you think, what you do, how you behave, how you manage your time. You, everything you is 1. 2, this circle out here is what you can influence, right? So while I can't control the way my friends and family think, I can influence it. I can influence society. I can influence followers. I can influence viewers. So how do I want to influence people? With facts. And when I bring facts, I want to use compassion, authenticity, respect, and vulnerability, right? Number 3, anything that's in 3 is something that you can't control and you can't influence it, which means leave it the fuck alone, because your number 3 is somebody else's 2 and somebody else's 1. You hear me? If it is your 3, it is somebody else's 1 and somebody else's 2. But what a lot of people like to do is focus on the 3s, because it's easy. When you focus on the 3, all you got to do is run your jaws. You ain't actually got to put in no damn work. If it's a 3, you get to point out all the other wrongs, but you ain't got to do shit to make it right. Everybody loves to focus on a 3. People want to talk about Trump and Elon all damn day. But what are you doing in your 1s and 2s? What are you doing in your 1s and 2s? It tickles me when people come on my live and they'll say, why don't you work? I am fucking working. Do you know how much work it takes to dig and find all of these facts, to put all of these facts in a link tree for people, to hold trainings, free trainings for anybody that will show the fuck up, then to take those trainings, put them up on YouTube, to make them free again to everybody else. I am working. I am working. This is work. When I get off of here some days, I'm emotionally spent. Good Lord. And you might say, why? Why do all these things? Because of this grandbaby running around my house right now. I do work for your hometown because, Andy, I would bet money you're from back home. But people would say, why? Right? So like Batman, bless its heart, you said maybe you should pay more attention to your kids than stupid mice. Maybe you should know what the fuck you're talking about before you stick your foot all the way down your throat and look like an uninformed asshole. Like, you could try that on for size. Maybe. Because if you did, you would know that these aren't my kids. That would be number one. Number two, you would know I give them more attention than you got, because if you got the attention my grandbabies got, you'd be a better human being. If you got the attention that I give my grandbabies, you wouldn't be in my TikTok trolling right now. You're mad because you didn't get the attention you needed in life. You are so lonely, you need attention from me right now. Ain't that some shit? Bless it. This tickles me. Pay your kid some attention. You jealous? You jealous? Listen, if you got one iota of the attention that my grandbabies get from me, you would be a spectacular fucking human being. How do I know? Because my grandbabies are spectacular human beings. I can't with you. This is how it works. It tickles me. So when I bring you up, folks, please put yourself on mute until I get to you. I got two folks in here. All right. Kenter Mama, how are you this afternoon? What you got?
I am wonderful.
Good.
I gotta run in a minute. I gotta take my daughter to a doctor's appointment, but I just wanted to tell you that you are exactly what I needed today. I have had the worst couple of weeks. My oldest friend just lost her youngest daughter to an OD last week. So everything has just been terrible. And I have kind of just checked out of the political stuff because I didn't have the bandwidth for it.
Yep.
And then I got on this morning and saw all of the terrible things that have happened. And you just came across, your live came across while I was scrolling. And everything that I have heard is exactly what I needed to have faith in humanity today. And I just want to thank you for it.
You are very welcome.
I will say I am a white woman who is wearing a blue bracelet. I have worn a blue bracelet since the very first day that it was all talked about. And I want to promise you that if this is not virtue signaling to show that I am an ally to any community, this is because I need everybody to know I am not that white. You know what I mean? Like, I needed people to know I own my shit, like you guys were talking about earlier. I have CPTSD from trauma that I experienced as a child and continued into my early adulthood. So I have a lot of things that I'm working on in therapy right now. And one of them is the external validation and my need for people to know.
I was getting ready to say that. The work is knowing, why do you need people to know it? That's the work.
Exactly. I know that this is one of my struggles. It's probably something that I'm going to struggle with my entire life, but I am doing the hard
Don't say
work
that
on it.
though. Don't say that. Don't own that. Don't say it's probably something you're going to struggle with. Don't speak what you don't want, love. If you don't want to struggle with it your whole life.
That I'm a realist about what I...
Be a realist about possibilities.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Every day.
I get it, but try this for me. I promise. I'm a realist too. I tell people all the time, I have tons of hope rooted in reality, right? And let me say this though, I still am not going to speak what I don't want. Be real about your ability to outgrow something, to let something go, to evolve, to be something different. Be real about the power that you have over you. Be real about that, because you have all the power in the world to create any possibility for you, because that's in your circle. That's in your one circle, right?
Oh my God, I love that. I have never seen that 1, 2, 3 thing before.
Yeah.
And I call it my world sadness. Like when I see something that's an atrocity that these people are doing, you know, like you and I are no different, because the difference in our level of melanin.
Right.
But there are so many people out there that think that you are not good enough.
Yeah.
Just because you have more melanin than we do.
Yeah.
You are so intelligent and so eloquent, and I love that you can tell people to grow the fuck up and
Which I do.
have the facts to back up what you're saying and to negate what they are saying, even though, like you said, they are absolutely in a cult. I have no problem with Republicans who are, rational people, but that seems to be in the minority lately.
So here's my rule for that, right? Here's my guideline, because I don't like the word rule, but my guideline for that is I have no problem with people who consider themselves to be Republican. If those people who consider themselves to be Republican are speaking out, taking a stand, and working diligently against what the Republican GOP party is doing right now.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the key.
I've had so many, the only people left in my circle that are MAGA people have drank way too much of the Kool-Aid, and I know that I cannot do anything to change their mind. So I've stopped engaging in all of that. I don't care what your ideals are as long as you care about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so gross to me what we are seeing in the world right now, and the level of grossness that people think it's okay to show now because the president is setting the example that it's okay to be this way, to stand up and call people names and make fun of them for having disabilities. And, it's showing the grossness. People are showing us their colors, and it has definitely changed my ability to set boundaries. So, that is work that I will thank them for contributing to.
So, I want you to come back on a day when you don't have to take your daughter to the doctor, and I hope all is well, and I'll share this with you. So for folks that are in here that have come to my trainings that I do, right? So one of the things that I will say, appreciate the Minnie Mouse bow. One of the things I will say is that cutting people off is not setting boundaries. Cutting people off is not setting boundaries. That is a reaction. Boundaries are proactive. Boundaries come from a place of peace.
Right. Boundaries are for me, not for them.
No, but if your boundary is, but follow me, if your boundary is to cut them off, if your boundary is, oh, I'm not going to tolerate you, so I'm not going to have anything to do with you, that's not a healthy boundary.
Oh, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just not, I refuse to engage once they get to a point where the conversation has devolved into insults and just downright insanity. Like the transgender mice thing. If you don't understand the difference between transgender and transgenic, I have tried to explain this to people already, and they won't get it. And it's the same thing as well, Biden did this or Obama did this. I'm not saying that what they did was a good thing. The difference here is that I can recognize the faults of these people, and I can recognize the good things that they have done for our community, and they just worship Trump. Yeah. And every single thing that he said, he could say, the sky is blue and the sky is purple.
So Kenter Mama, so one of my subscribers just sent you a subscription. So I don't know if you saw it.
I don't know how to do that.
No, they sent you one, so you're subscribed.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And yes, I would absolutely love to come back and have a conversation with you, and I will come back with notes.
Awesome.
I wish I had been taking notes when you were talking and I was listening, because you taught me so many things in the 20 or 30 minutes that I was listening before you brought me up. Awesome. I had never heard of the papers that Madison wrote, and that is something that, okay, I am in California.
Yeah.
I grew up, we're in a red area, but I grew up in a blue state. And so I would have thought that I had access to more historical information in school than a lot of other places. I didn't know about so many things that I have learned about in the last couple of weeks as I've been doing research on all this stuff to be able to be informed to have.
Everybody in the comments is going, go to my link tree. So I have a very extensive link tree.
Yes, I'm absolutely going to do that. I followed you as soon as you started talking. And I will absolutely go, and I would love to watch the training videos and all that stuff.
Yeah,
my point, though, there was that I didn't know what Juneteenth was until I was 31.
I'm not surprised. Thanks,
I had no idea. I didn't know what Black Wall Street was until I was 31. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. I am learning so much. And yes, absolutely, I would love to come back and have a conversation with you. I will DM you when I get to the doctor's office, because I'm sure we'll wait a little bit, so that we can connect. But I want to tell you that I think that you are a beautiful human being, and we need so many more people out there like you, informing people in a respectful way and bringing it to them as yourself, if that makes sense. Sorry, I have I'm chronically ill, and I have brain fog really bad. So I'm struggling with words today.
You're good.
But I just want to tell you that I loved you.
Appreciate it.
I think in the first 5 minutes I heard you talking, I fell in love with you, and I will absolutely be back.
I love it. I appreciate it. I hope your daughter turns out well, and definitely sending condolences for your friend.
Appointment. She's got we're working on she just turned 18, so we have hit a new level of things that we can do to work on her migraines.
Yay.
So we're going for some physical therapy for her jaw.
Awesome.
But thank you for your concern.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And you have an absolutely wonderful day. And thank you to whoever that was that gifted me the subscription. Yeah. I've never subscribed to anybody on TikTok, and I'm so happy that you're my first.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right, you too. What's up, Pascal?
Yes, hi. I've been listening to you for maybe about like the last 2 months. Kind of piggybacking off of what the last person was saying. Yeah, you're just so amazing. You're very, very knowledgeable, and we need more people like you.
Yeah.
I definitely do appreciate your patience, because I am not that patient. I would fly off the handle with some of the conversations that you've had with some of these Trumpsters, because it's like, how do you continuously live in such a state of disillusion? Like, I can't understand it. It's absolute insanity what flies out of their mouth, and you're like, do you not think? Like, do you not, again, like I always tell people, 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't equal 11. Nowhere in the universe is it equal 11.
Yeah.
So
I'll offer you this. When people say you're so patient, it's funny to me, because I don't know that I'm like that. I don't really know. Here's what I will say is, because at the time, I know what the objective is, right? So the objective for me in every conversation is to gain understanding. You all hear me say that all the time. So I might be thinking in my head, oh, for fuck's sake. And sometimes I will say, oh, for fuck's sake, out loud. Right? They've heard me say it. And the idea, I think what allows for the patience is keeping in mind the objective, right? The objective cannot be about me changing their mind or them admitting they're wrong. It can't be. It has to only be the focus of, right, you do have a sticker for it. My sub people do have a sticker for it. It says, there it goes. Pie Slice put it up. There is one there. But like that's the objective, is just understanding. And so I really do my best. And I think I've gotten there because the motivation isn't me. It's my grand. It is the world that I leave them. Like, I really take that seriously. And I don't know that we do that enough anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And so, like, I've listened to other people's lives, and there just seems to be this ongoing narrative with a lot of Trumpsters where it really, I think there's several things going on. It's a lack of information, but I think it's also a lack of empathy, because when you hear them speak, it's a lot of me, I. And when I went to the voting poll, I wasn't only thinking about myself.
Correct.
I thought about all the women that I know and how my vote is going to impact them. I thought about immigrants. I thought about trans people. I thought about just the working class in general, and they only thought about themselves. I'm like, how do you make because at one point you're making a conscious decision to turn that part off, and I'm like, how do you function like that? Because I can't.
Well, but there's a disconnect.
What?
There's a disconnect for them. So let me just say, in their communities, many of them are very giving to each other, to people who are like them, who think like them, who live like them, right? They are, but it doesn't translate to the vote. And I think when you are following someone and the person that you are following, their exact motto is America first. Like the motto is fuck everybody else but us. It you know what I mean? It just trickles down. That's the one thing. Trickle down economics doesn't work, but trickle down fuck off does.
And that's what, and you see, and that's where I disconnect from, because it's like, do you not understand that these things come full circle? Like, do you not realize that we're all connected and interconnected?
Nope.
Like, understand that when that thing happens over there, it does actually come back around and affect you. Like, and they just think like they're exempt from what's happening over there. And it's like, that's not how that works.
Yep. It's because I said this the other day. This is why people don't like Americans, is we know the least amount when it comes to world history.
Yeah.
We go everywhere in the world and we think that everybody should speak our language. Yeah. Right. It's just incredible. Whereas other countries, they just do a different job. They speak multiple languages. Like, what other country do you know of that had to do a damn order to say English is our national language? Like, that's just the dumbest shit ever. And MAGA folk are going, yeah, hell yeah. And nobody goes to France and thinks French is not the national language. And by the way, I don't care how much you say there's an executive order that says English is the national language. What we know is that in several decades, English will not be the predominant language of this country. I know y'all trying really hard to hang on to it, but that damn Spanish speaking is coming for that ass.
And that's the thing, and that goes to show you, going back to just a lack of knowledge and being informed, because if you really want to bring up history, English was not the first language spoken in this land. Actually, Spanish, along with other indigenous languages, were spoken before Europeans came over, before the English came over. So I find that really interesting. I'm like, really? Okay.
Right.
Goes to show you don't know history.
Yeah. Well, again, and this is what I said the other day too, is it's not surprising that Americans don't know a lot of world history, because Americans can't handle our own history.
Yep.
Right. So if you're a country that cannot accept the facts of your own history, it's way too much to expect for you to understand the facts around world history. And that's kind of why we are the way we are, and that's why we forever need to keep the federal Department of Education, because what we know is that state education will make that worse. So 100%.
And you know, and the thing is that you see it, because when you get into some of these conversations with these people, you're like, wow. And it's not to say that I'm the sharpest knife in the kitchen, but I'm not the dullest one either. And you try to have these nuanced conversations with them, and it literally goes over their head, and you have to repeat yourself over again and try to reconstruct, okay, how can I word this in a way where they're gonna understand it and it'll still go over their heads, that you're like, I don't understand, like, what's going on here? Because you only speak one language and I'm speaking the language that you speak, so I don't know what other way to explain this. It's very frustrating. And it's also frustrating how how I feel like a lot of times, like the far right has managed and did it very successfully, created all these false narratives, and so many people fell for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're lying to you. Like, that's not true. Like, do you not? And they fell for it. They ate it up. Oh no, this is real. Okay, you think it's real. So then try to look for information to prove that right, and there's just no evidence.
Mila, come here, babe. Y'all know where
There's
she's
just
at.
no
She's in the
evidence.
water.
And like one of the things that stuck, and it gets on my nerves, and I'm not.
Mila,
you probably might
come out the water.
You probably might disagree with me. Like, one of the narratives that stuck is like when the far left, the extreme left. I'm like, who are you talking about? Like, I can't wrap my mind around it. And the thing is that I've asked this question several times, and no one can give me a clear answer. People give me isolated situations, anecdotal stories, and I'm like, but that doesn't prove. Like, you literally took one situation and just colored everything in with a broad brush. What is the far left? And no one can answer me. And I'm like, because it doesn't really exist. Like, what's the worst?
I mean, when we say the far left, I think for me, I think what people consider the far left is just basic human rights for everyone, right? And yeah, so I think I think basic human rights is far left, universal health care is far left, free breakfast and lunch in schools is far left. And so for me, if that's what people believe the far left is, then yep, I'm far left, because I do. I think that children should eat. I think that we should have health care. And the cool thing about that is most other developed countries believe the same thing.
Yeah.
And they have the same thing.
And what's so frustrating, again, these ongoing narratives, like,
Mila, come here, please.
This is kind of going back to what you were saying about how with certain groups of people, those who are palm colored, you kind of have to like really tread a little carefully, because you just can't take it at face value. And you'll hear some of them say things along the lines of, oh, well, that's what my taxes are going to. And immediately it's, the single mom who has 3 kids. And it's like, that's what my taxes are going to. And I'm like, do you not realize that she's also paying taxes as well? So those social safety nets that she's taking advantage, she is also paying taxes into that. And it's gotten to the point that I would rather my taxes go to those parents who are trying to put food on the table. You want some steak? Go get you some steak. I would rather, because then what ends up happening is that they give all these nice little tax cuts to these millionaires and billionaires, and it goes up to them, and they get to have all the spending money or not. It goes into the military. And I'm like, you know what? I would rather her go to the supermarket and buy like 30 steaks. I would rather. That's all I need to know.
I see those. Yeah, agreed. 100%. And so for me, I think that the issue that we have when we talk about policies, and I've said this and I'll keep saying it, I think that progressives and liberals do the worst job at messaging the programs. So defund the police was the dumbest shit ever. Like, why would we ever say that? Right. That's just like that's an invitation waiting to happen. And so when I think about these things, it makes me think, who's coming up with this, and like, what's the actual objective long term? Like, do we want to actually get it passed or no? Because if so, we should be saying it differently. For those of you guys that are wondering, I got her out of the water by inviting her to come over, and I pulled up a page, and I'm showing her water tables to see which one she wants. Because Jesus, we got to fix it. So, but yeah, I definitely think that, we have got to do a better job in the way that we communicate things, which is why I also think, coolest mom ever. I'm literally like, holy geez, because y'all don't even want to know. There was almost like there was water in there when I went in there before. But when she heard me coming, she put a towel on the floor because she had dropped a cup. And holy geez, right? So I'm looking right now because this is a new phase for her.
Yeah, but with the messaging, no, you're absolutely right. And it's so frustrating because it's like, it's leftist ideas that are the most popular and beneficial to the working class. And it's like when you see sometimes these debates or these conversations, it's like you should be wiping the floor with these conservatives. They're bringing nothing to the table.
Nothing.
And like they just let them just bulldoze them. I'm like, how do you bring a butter knife to a gunfight? You're supposed to be bringing a bazooka or
watch the G words because we're on TikTok. You know they don't be liking them words.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
Remember where you at. But yeah, no, there's a way for us to, it is the messaging and it's the way that we say things.
Yeah.
And so I do it by asking questions. You know, I love to ask people, do you believe that all children, do you believe that children should go hungry? Would you like for children to go hungry? And people are going to say no. Great. I think the same thing. So what do you think we could do? What would be, what's one of the easiest ways that we can make sure that children get to eat every day? It's by giving them free meals at school because that's where they go during the day. You know what I mean? Like these are just easy conversations, but I love the way that I love to do it. Y'all know I call it matlocking, is asking questions that I know the answer to in order to lead people down the path, right? That where I want them to go and where I believe that we all want to go, even if some people are resistant to getting there because they just don't want to feel like they're that way. But you know, I don't believe that this is dumb. I don't believe that. Do you have YouTube where anything goes? What do you mean? Yeah. So I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Facebook, and I'm live on TikTok. And then the trainings that I do, they are in the link tree, but they are also on YouTube. So, right. Yeah. So, but no, I appreciate it. Right. Yeah, no, but I appreciate you, Pascal. I agree. And this is why I say this is part of the way, yeah, I know you can say certain things. I'm just always mindful on TikTok, because sometimes I have gotten on TikTok by saying damn near nothing. So I'm just always better safe than sorry over here in this world.
Yeah, no, I've gotten videos taken down for harassment and bullying, and I'm like, well, what did I say? Like, I didn't say anything that was so controversial.
Oh, like, my label said stop lying because the clip that I played from a MAGA person was lying, and TikTok said it violated the community standards. I was like, so lying? Hold on. I was like, so lying doesn't break your community standards, but telling people to stop lying does?
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Yeah, this is one content creator. I forget his name. He's gay, and like he just talks out of the side of his mouth, and he thinks he's so cute. And I've done a couple of videos in the past, literally putting him in his place, and they've taken it down, harassment and bullying. And I'm like, are you serious? Like I didn't curse at him. All I basically did in my video was just prove him wrong and how his perspective is just it's skewed. Like no, you're looking at that wrong, and they've taken it down. Harassment and bullying. Try to appeal it. Nope, didn't get back. I'm like, okay, I see how you guys work.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. I'm coming to help you. I'm coming.
It's fine.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate you, Pascal. Let me check and see who I've got in here. I'm gonna drop you down for a sec. Is Jen in here by any chance, or the boss or anybody? Who's my regular folks that I might have? Anybody? And then I will be literally back in 2 seconds. I just need to help Mila for a moment. Oh, thank you. That's not what I need, love. I don't see them. Cheryl, do you want to be my people? Because I see you. That's the only reason I'm saying this, because I see you. Yeah, no worries, Phantom. Yeah, I don't want to get you because you're in the car. No worries. Are you laughing, girl? I cannot with you.
No, Bella's laughing.
Oh, Bella's not here. Bella can't be laughing. Okay. Well, actually, they're not connected. So transgenic is not the same thing. Transgenic and transgender, not the same thing. Nope. Addictive. Nope, they're not. They're not connected. Transgender, transgenic, not the same thing, right?
Knock, knock.
Yeah, y'all know she likes to say that all the time. Bella did whatever,
Knock,
right?
Knock, knock.
So, yeah, all I need right now is somebody to like mod or do the commercial breaks. Yeah, I think TikTok normally will get me though if somebody's not sitting there. So, when I come back, I need to take a break for like 5 seconds, addictive. And then, yeah, I'm happy to bring you on the panel. Yep. I just need to take a break for 1 second so I can help the youngin. Thanks, Maya. Come on.
Yeah. Hi guys. If you are new to this space, we have some just general guidelines we go by. We don't use slurs for anyone or anything. We are respectful when we talk in the comments. Also, I am new to this, so just gonna kind of go by what I remember. But Danny has a great link tree if you guys are new. So informative. A lot of the stuff that she talks about is on there. Hi guys. And no all caps. Thank you, Gio. Only mods and moderators use all caps and some eyesight. People who have problems with eyesight. So those are the people that have that. If you guys are not subscribed to Danny, it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to be. We have a great community on there. We do documentary watches. We do just information things and things like that. Make sure to gift, tap the screen, do all of those things. We want to make sure that we continue to boost and boost Danny's live. Thanks guys. But yeah, so that is great. And also she keeps her subscription cost way down. So hers is the bare minimum. It's only like $3. Wade, you can get to her link tree through clicking on her name in the top left corner and then click on it again and it should take you to her page, and it should be like right under her bio. So yeah, and she gets the lowest subscription cost. So many great things in that, and it's a great community to be a part of. We really talk a lot of things that we can do proactively. We're very positive in that space. We really help each other out and all of that. So I'm so glad you're back.
No worries. You did fine. You did great. Yes, girl.
Thank you, everyone, for helping me.
Yeah, you're doing great. Thank you, Maya. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Okay. All right, folks. So I am back. We have got about another 20 minutes or so before I get out of here. And so I want to kind of good necessary trouble. So a couple of things that that Maya was talking about. So yes, with the subscriptions, TikTok would love for me to do tiers and all of that. I don't. Not through TikTok. So it is the bare minimum. And so it's $3 a month, which is their lowest subscription. So if you do subscribe, great. I have a subscriber side and a non-subscriber side to Discord. So if you go to my link tree at the very top, there is a icon that looks like a game controller. That is the invitation link to Discord. So you can click that link and get up in there, and then you'll be kind of verified and go through the process and get in if you're a subscriber. And you just follow the steps and you'll get into the side. So we do documentary viewings, discussions around those. I do trainings. I just did. Thanks, Brandy. Trainings are open to anybody and everybody. They will be when I'm doing a training. It is in the link tree. Don't scream, please. You want Moana? Bring me the remote. But the workshops that we do are free to everybody. We do them. They are recorded. When I'm done with them, I put them up on YouTube. So that's there as well. So subscribers just have a completely different thing. I engage there a whole lot more than I do here, just because that's what we do. So I think that's about it on that. Yeah, so we got the new Moana 2, and she absolutely loves it. And so they play it all the time. Is that my remote for out here? Nope, wrong remote. The other one's on the couch. Okay, so Yep, and I do have a podcast. Thank you, Donna Ski, for that reminder. So the podcast is The Danny Cook. It is on whatever your platform is that you listen to podcasts on. So whether that's Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify. Okay, I'll help you. Whether it's Spotify, whatever, it's all over. So you can do that. Matter of fact, new episode was supposed to be out yesterday. It'll be out probably tomorrow because I have them. And yep, so I am The Danny Cook on Substack, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, on I don't know, Blue Sky. That's the other one. So yep, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Audible, Pandora, whatever, Spotify, they're all there. Okay. So, all right. So very quickly, somebody said something right before I left. Oh, it's addictive. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got some folks. I'm going to bring you up, put yourself on mute until I get to you, please. Yeah. I used to say all of them, but I don't say that anymore because there are some apps that I'm not on, and there are some people that had put a fake one up. Who did somebody tell me I was on somewhere? Somebody was like, "Are you on Red Note?" I was like, "No."
I thought paint and tickle.
You got what?
I thought paint in that tickle.
You got a paint and a sticker? Okay. And I was like, no, that's not me. It was somebody else. So yeah, the podcast is The Danny Cook Show. That's how you find it. Okay. So yeah, what's up, mini gigabytes? All right. Yeah, it is crazy. They do fake ones. So I was like, no, that ain't me. Don't look. All right. Addictive. Good afternoon. What you got?
Hey, I was just a little confused with your background. It seems like you're implying that trans or gender affirming care isn't connected to mice.
Nope, that's not what I said.
Okay, so is your background says if you think these are connected, it may be part of the problem.
Yeah.
It's
So
just a simple
gender
trans.
affirming care and transgender are not the same thing.
Gender affirming care has to be implemented for trans people.
But gender affirming care is not just related to transgender.
Okay, so if you were doing studies like basically on, let's say, like trans masculinity, would that be considered?
But if I was doing a study, let's just say on asthma in patients with HIV, that would require gender affirming care because they get estrogen treatment. So just because two things can be, they are not exclusive to each other.
But you didn't answer my question. If it's a study on trans
so let me be clear, okay, addictive. So this right here does not say this doesn't say gender affirming. What is this symbol?
That's why I said trans masculine.
No, but what's the symbol though?
Trans.
Right. And what are these?
Mice.
Right. So is anywhere in here the words gender affirming?
No.
Right. So when you say to me what
trans masculine,
but your question to me was your question to me, I know what the question that you're asking is, but your question is not what I'm saying. So your question is very specific, and I'm going to give it to you. So here's the first thing that you said is you were confused because what you asked me was I saying that trans or gender affirming care not related to mice? And that is not what I said. What I said is that transgender and mice are not related. Yeah, that's my grand girl playing.
Oh, okay.
Put it down, girl. So that's the question. So transgender is not doesn't have anything to do with mice. Please don't do that.
Is trans masculine considered transgender?
But again, you get the point. So don't act like you don't get the point because you do.
I get your point.
Right. So the point is very simply that transgenic mice, right, don't have anything to do with being transgender.
Okay. Is trans masculine considered transgender?
Trans feminine, trans masculine, trans whatever is considered being transgender. But what does that have to do with mice?
Okay, so the NIH posted a study that was specifically addressing trans masculinity. It was a study that was done on mice.
Okay.
Do we acknowledge that?
I mean, I don't have the study pulled up, but so can we acknowledge this? Can we acknowledge this? That we did not spend $8.3 million to make mice transgender.
Well, that's not the point of your background.
Yeah, it is. How are you going to tell me what my point is?
Where does the $8 million? I don't see any of that. You're just asking if those things are connected.
No, what I said is if you think that transgender and mice are connected, That's a thing because, and here's the point. Here's the point. So let's don't act like you don't know what the point is. Because I will tell you this, like just disingenuous ignorance is not attractive. It's not even funny.
You literally
So
avoided
the point
my
is
question really times.
the point is very simple. The point is very simple and you get the point. So let's don't act like you don't guess,
Okay.
right?
So
What
to
we
me,
know
I
is
actually
that
care
gender
to
affirming
answer
care,
this.
can we agree that gender affirming care is not
Yes,
trans
we've repeatedly
exclusive?
gone over this.
No, we haven't. Is
Okay,
trans
break this.
is gender affirming care trans exclusive? Yes or no?
No.
No.
But it is
Okay,
tied to
great.
trans.
So great. So did we spend $8 million to make mice transgender?
Yeah, I can't verify the cost, but I can verify that.
So we made
Sarah-
so we spent money to
Oh my
make
God, you
mice
don't let anyone
transgender?
answer questions. It's like crazy.
What, baby?
Yeah, so I don't know the exact
Yeah, I'm gonna
cost. I
get you
can't
one of
verify
those.
the exact cost, but what I can verify is that there is trans studies that are done on mice.
No, but did we do a study to make what? Okay, you gotta wait because I have to look something. Okay, you gotta wait a second.
Let her
Yeah.
speak. I mean, I didn't. She's just kind of repeating herself.
So no, you want me to say what you want me to say, and I'm
So
going
you
to
were
stay,
just
and I'm
continuously
going to
resurfacing
stay
back to this
accurate
gender affirming
because
thing,
I'm
which I
going to
already
stay
conceded.
accurate because that's what you said to start with. So
Several
what
times
I'm
I've
not
already
letting you
conceded.
do is deflect.
No.
So
several
when you
times I've
start up,
conceded.
so what is transgenic?
Yeah, transgenic is like I believe it's like manipulating the DNA.
In what way?
I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look it up.
Okay, so what does it mean for a mouse to be transgenic?
Yeah, that's not even what I'm debating though. You haven't even let me bring up my point. You just have been
Okay,
kind of
go.
jumping
What's your
on everything
point?
I'm saying.
What's your point?
Yeah, so there is a study that proves that we do gender affirming care, which is specifically trans focused studies on mice.
Okay, in what way? Share me.
Yeah,
Share
so
share
the
share with
NIH
me.
actually posted about it.
No, I'm
Mouse
asking you
model.
specifically, what was the study about with those mice?
You have to wait for people to speak.
I don't
Yeah,
have to.
it's
I'm
like-
asking you specifically.
I'm telling you. The
Yeah.
NIH posted a study.
Yeah. And what was the study?
That's what I'm gonna do. A mouse model mimicking gender affirming treatment with pubertal suppression, followed by a testosterone in trans masculine youth.
Okay, so follow me again. Say it again. Say it again.
A mouse model mimicking gender affirming treatment with pubertal suppression, followed by a testosterone. in
Which
trans
means what?
masculine youth.
Right, which means what? Which means what? Tell me what it said. Tell me what it means. What did the study actually
I'm reading the
do?
headline to you first, and now I have to read the study question to you, what they're actually trying to discover. Okay.
So
It
again,
might serve as a translation model.
so can you tell me the date of the study?
Yeah, 2023.
Okay, and what did it say exactly? Give me the title of it.
I just did. A mouse model mimicking.
Oh,
gender
I got it. It's
affirming-
right here. So here's what it says. Okay, so it said. So here's the abstract.
Some horrible attention span.
Who does you?
You just
Yeah.
keep interrupting. I'm trying to get through it, but it's just like painful.
Yeah, I because you're not getting to the point, and so
I'm trying to. You keep interrupting me and going, "What's the point?" While I'm in the middle of explaining the point. It's
because
insane.
okay, so tell me this. Can you tell me what the study actually did?
That's what I've been trying. To
Okay,
do.
well tell me now.
Okay. Okay, so the study question, what the study was trying to figure out, right?
Yeah, I can read it for you too. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Can mice serve as a translation model to
Mhm.
examine the reproductive consequences of pubertal suppression with GnRH agonist followed by a testosterone administration? A typical therapy in let me just make sure I say that word right. Peripubertal
Yeah.
transmasculine youth.
Uh-huh. That's
Would
the
you
question
say
that they're
that's
asking.
a study
And what
that's
does that mean?
It's a study to see what are the repercussions, basically, when you put people on puberty suppression and then following it up with like testosterone.
No,
to
that's
see
not
if there's
that's
any
not
type
what
of
they're asking.
repercussions.
That's not what they're asking. So the
Okay,
questions, so here's the study question. The
You just
study
like a
was
second.
asking, the study asked very simply, can mice even serve as a translational model to examine it? So the question of this study was, can you even use mice to examine what this looks like in peripubertal teens.
And how do you think they did that?
So follow me. I know how they did it, but this is the thing. So what
They
you
used
said
mice.
earlier is, so here's what you said. You said that it was about making mice transgender, and it's not. What they literally wanted to see was, here's what they wanted to see is, can you even use mice to study what this impact would be?
Yes, and how
Right.
did they do that?
So
Wait,
just so that we're clear, stop and let
I
me
never said that
finish.
mice are
Please don't make me
transgender.
mute
What do want?
you. So listen,
But
you're trying to make it seem as if this study was for trans youth, trans masculine youth, and it wasn't. This study was about, even trying to determine, is this a model that you can use?
Yes,
That's
how
what
did
the
they
study
create
was
that
about.
model?
So the study wasn't for transgender affirming care.
How did they?
The study wasn't for, I'm going to finish, right? So here's what we know. It says the summary answer is an implanted depot with 3.6 milligram of the GRHA was followed by this testosterone, which was 0.45 milligrams weekly, can be used in a peripubertal female mice for investigating the impact of gender affirming hormone therapy. So what does that mean? You have a male.
Continue. There's more to it.
Let me fucking finish and don't interrupt me. Don't do that. So here's what listen, we're going to get through this. So here it is. So the study was saying, can we use mice to even see if there's an impact of using hormone suppression and then testosterone for a teen that has, for a it's peripubertal. So before they even go into puberty, can we see what the impact would be? Right? That's what we're asking with this question. And so I'm not finished though, and then you can ask your question. I will finish. You're not the only one in the room. And when I'm finished, you can ask your question. When I'm finished, that's when. All right. So the question was, because the whole idea is, if we are engaging in different types of treatment, gender affirming treatment, before someone goes through puberty, what can we use to study the impacts? Because you would want to study the impacts no matter what. Now, what it doesn't do is study making a mouse transgender. Nope. Because
was that my stance?
am I talking to you?
You're straw manning.
Am I talking to you? Are you going to be able to shut up until I get to you, or no? Are you going to be able to shut up until I get to you, or no?
Wait,
are you going to be able to shut up until I get to you, or no? Are you going to be able to, because I've already told you that you can ask your question when I'm finished.
Okay, you're straw manning.
I've asked you, yeah. So when I'm done, you can ask your question. All right. So it's, what does gender affirming care do, and is there an impact before someone goes through menopause? I mean, through puberty. Now, here's the cool thing about this is there are a lot of people that are opposed to treatment, gender affirming care being done on youth before puberty. So what we're saying is, okay, if we're opposed to that, we could use mice to be able to see, is there a reason to be opposed to it? But before we could do that, we have to determine, are the mice going to be a good model to even see if we could find out what that looks like? So I'm going to break this down again. Here's what it says. Can mice serve as a translational model to examine the reproductive consequences, not any other consequences except reproductive, in the suppression of GnRH agonist, followed by testosterone administration? So what will happen to a reproductive system if you suppress the female and agonist, and then you increase the testosterone? What would happen from a reproductive standpoint in someone who has not transitioned, but who would be a trans masculine gender affirming person? So this study was to say, Would mice be able to tell us what would happen to people who have not gone through puberty and what the impact would be on their reproductive organs, right? Would we be able to do that? That's what this study is. This study is not about making mice transgender. This study is, first of all, are mice even a good subject to tell us what would happen to someone who hasn't gone through puberty or not? That's what this particular study is. So what we want to know is, all right, what happens if before someone goes through puberty, you suppress the
You said this
estrogen?
like 7 times.
I'm not fucking talking to you again yet.
You said it like 7 times. This
I
is
don't care.
exhausting. You're
Then,
gonna get
okay, then
destroyed.
you can shut up and still wait your turn.
Oh my God. All right. Repeat it for the 15th time.
I will. Thank you very much. I don't need your permission though.
Well, I gave you it. So go
Well, I mean, you could give it, but if I already have it, you didn't give it. You just tried to make your male ego feel like you gave it, which was nice, but still not effective. So when people try to use this study to indicate that this was somehow some transgender study, it wasn't. What we want to know in science is, do we need mice? Do we need a different animal? Do we need something else?
I find the bag in my door.
Yeah, you did.
I find the bag in my door. I find the egg in my door.
You did. We should do another scavenger hunt, shouldn't we? We should do another one. All right. So, and what I will tell you is, okay, hold on, I'm almost done. So, this is what it says in the study. It says, what is known already, okay, is there is limited knowledge available. Hold on, sis, you got to be quiet for just a second. There's limited knowledge available in transgender medicine to provide evidence-based fertility care, with the current guidelines being based on the assumption of fertility loss. So there is an assumption that if you have a female who is going to transition to male, there is an assumption that there's going to be a loss of fertility. And so what they're saying is we don't have a lot of information to even tell us anything, right? So they said we recently successfully developed a mouse model to investigate the reproductive consequences of testosterone therapy given to transgender men. On the other hand, to our knowledge, there is no mouse model to assess the reproductive outcomes in pre-pubertal transmasculine youth. Love that. So what is your question, Addictive?
My question is, after, I guess, the 19th time.
It doesn't matter how many times. What's your question?
It's exhausting. But so the question I have, right, is that did I ever make an argument that they're making mice transgender?
Yes.
When?
At the very beginning of this conversation.
Nope, I only went by your background.
You did. So again, what's your question now?
Yeah. So okay. So you're lying, I guess, about you're straw manning my argument, which is wicked
No,
disingenuous.
is that a
My
question?
position, I'll reiterate my
Is that a
position.
question?
Yeah. So my position. Well, hold on. I'm gonna establish my. You got to talk all day.
I did, which is the great thing about when you have a live, you can talk all day. That's the great
I mean,
thing.
just because you own the thing and you can just control it.
Actually, yes, that's the whole thing. That's it.
Yeah. So
That's exactly it. That's exactly
I
it.
understand my position. I'll explain it to you.
No, I didn't ask you to explain your position. I'm really not interested in your position. You asked me, could you ask a question? So I said yes. So what is your question?
Yeah, I asked you my first question. Now I'm going to get into correcting you in my position since you don't understand it.
Oh, I understand your position.
Well, you made up my position.
No, I didn't.
Why would I even think mice don't even have the concept of being trans?
So
Why would I even argue that?
literally, that's what you
Mice,
did.
They don't even have a conscience.
Stop.
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's your assumption about mice.
That's not my assumption.
Stop.
You're
Second.
saying that mice
Stop.
can make, like...
I am asking you what's your question.
Like human
What?
beings.
Okay.
You think they have a concept
I
of a
got you,
social
yes.
construct of gender?
Again, what is your question?
I already asked you. It's.
Do you have another one?
I don't have another one. I'm trying to tell you what
Okay.
my position is because you didn't understand it.
Well, but so in order to tell me your position, you would assume that I care.
Yeah, you.
No, I don't. I don't care. No, you asked, could you come up? You asked, could you come up? And I said yes.
Are you that unaware? Are you that
No, I just don't care what your take is. I don't have to care.
Okay. Yeah, so you just ramble for the next 15 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, if I want to, because here's the thing. You said, can I come up? I said, sure, let me finish doing this. So I brought you up. You asked a question that specifically tried to insinuate that gender affirming care and making someone transgender is the same thing, and they are not. And then you referred to a study and you misrepresented what that study was. But again, what you wanted to, how many times are you going to say straw man? Guys, did he say straw man like 19 times now? How many times is he going to keep saying straw man? Like, I think he keeps saying literally straw man like 20 times. Like, how many times are we going to say straw man? 100? I think so, right? So again, this is the point. This is the point, right? You try to insinuate that the study was something that it is not. So what I did was pull up the exact study that you were talking about to let people know exactly what it was. It wasn't. And the study wasn't even about being transgender. The study was about reproductive consequences. So let's be clear, the study wasn't about anyone that was transgender. The study was not about anybody that's transgender at all.
You up and make you feel good.
Yeah, so no, so I think you're in the wrong space is what I think.
No, I'm not in the wrong space. Probably. I've usually talked to people that don't know how to debate, but I guess you do not know how to do it.
I don't debate here. I do facts.
Yeah, you don't do facts because
I do facts.
Your background says if you think these are connected, you may be a part of the problem.
Because you are part of the problem. Yeah, because you are. Because they are not connected. Even the study that you cited, is not about transgender. It's not about making people transgender. The study that you cited was about, could you even use mice? The study that you cited, the study that you cited isn't even about, the study that you cited. No, the study was about, can you use mice as a translative model? That's what it was.
Translative model of what?
Reproductive impact of testosterone treatment.
For who?
For someone who hasn't gone through puberty, but would present from a transmasculine perspective.
Thank you for proving my point. They're connected.
No, in case you don't understand.
Really just prove my point.
No, transmasculine prior to, so again, what do you believe it is? So let's talk about this. When most people talk about making someone transgender, what does that mean? What does it mean to make someone transgender?
What do you mean make someone transgender? From the writings and the knowledge that we have now, it's something that they're born with, that they discover on their own as they grow up. They start to feel differences from how they feel on the inside compared to how they are presented on the outside. It's a complete social construct that's based on societal pressures when it comes to how people display masculinity and femininity. It's a complicated issue, and that's why I would never argue that mice are transgender. That's why I laughed at you for straw manning that fucking argument, because you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, you read a study that proves the point that they're connected, and the fact that
they're not connected.
Get out of your own bubble to see that is crazy.
No, the point is, so again,
if you say one more time that it's to see if the mice can be a model is insane. A model of what?
It's as insane as you saying straw manning 1,000 times.
They did implement the study. The study was to discover if that could be accomplished when it comes to transgender care. So what is the background? Your background is...
No, it wasn't. The study was about the study was about reproductive impact of testosterone treatment before someone goes through puberty.
Okay, so someone that is in the process of, let's say, maybe what, transitioning?
No, puberty has nothing to do with being in the process of transitioning.
It does for a lot of people that are trying to transition.
No, it doesn't. Transmasculine. Do you know what transmasculine is? Not transgender, dude.
It's a stepping stone of transgender.
No, it is not.
What is Please define transmasculine.
It is transmasculine is just this umbrella term that is used for people who identify with presenting masculine.
Okay.
It's a good way. I guess let me say it in a way that maybe you can understand is being a tomboy.
Oh my God! If someone presented as so, you're
Yeah,
saying
being
it's
a
about
tomboy.
The study's about tomboys.
Yeah,
Because tomboys
trans masculine. So, dude, let me just tell you. So it's taking. So here was the question, bro. Here was the question, so that you understand. I can take a female. I can take a girl who has not gone through puberty, but she's a tomboy. She presents masculine. It doesn't say she's going to transition or that she even wants to transition.
Yeah, simple question. Do we administer testosterone to tomboys?
In some cases, yes, we do.
Is it for the fact that they're tomboys, they're trans masculine?
We issue trans. Do you know why we give? Hey, okay, got you. Do you know why we give? Do you know why? Do you know all the instances in which we give testosterone?
Why do we give testosterone? There's multiple reasons. I mean, sometimes
Exactly, which not all of them have anything to do with transitioning. I got you. Stop.
Yeah, but this study actually just lays it all out.
No, it doesn't. The study says, and I'm going to tell you again, investigating the impact of giving a transmasculine, which means you are a female who identifies with presenting masculinely, which there are plenty of those people. There are plenty of those people who have no desire to be men. And so the question is if you give those people testosterone, if you, for fuck's sake, bro.
You are so out of left field. It's like
yeah, you are so intentionally, aggressively ignorant. That's the part.
Paying for your viewership. This is crazy.
So again,
you have this many subscribers and they just
again, oh, are you worried about my subscribers? Are you mad?
I'm just shocked that people spend money to
I mean, and I'm just shocked that you spend this much time being willfully, aggressively ignorant.
Like, I know women with menopause have a lot of, spending money, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, oh, did y'all hear that? He knows women in menopause have a lot of spending money. Well, are you mad that they're smarter than men? Really? Are you mad because the men you know that are of that age are broke? Is that it? He's teacupping, so. Oh, I knew he was misogynistic from the start, right? But anyway, so just for everyone else who is listening, okay? When we talk about transmasculine, it is an umbrella term for people who identify with masculinity, even though they were assigned female at birth. Now, there's a ton of those people, folks. There are a ton of those people. And so the question is, if those people receive testosterone and this particular agonist is suppressed, right? Will it impact their ability to reproduce? That was the question. It also refers to people who are non-binary and identify on the male side of the spectrum. So it has nothing to do with if somebody intends to transition to being a man. Like a masked lesbian. Right. Exactly. Right? And so the study that he cited, folks, had nothing to do with transgender. It had to do with the impact of receiving gender affirming care that is masculine in nature, like testosterone injections, and the impact on reproduction. So can someone who is transmasculine, who identifies with masculinity, will it impact, and how will it impact that individual's ability to reproduce? That's the question. So I'm just saying, if you're going to come up here and cite a study and all the other things, I highly recommend that you understand the study that you are referring to when you give it to me, because I promise you, I'm going to read it. I'm going to understand what the damn study says, and then I'm going to explain it to you sometimes 19 times if I think you're that fucking ignorant that you don't understand it. And the great thing about it is I can do it on the fly. Right? And some people are mad about that. Y'all came with me to the kitchen because Mila wants moodles, as y'all know. Okay? So, like, bruh. Oh. So, it just tickles me. She does love moodles. That's her jam. Right. You were a tomboy until you were 12, never wanted to be a man. Exactly. I know plenty of people that are that way. And there are many reasons that someone gets testosterone, folks. Many reasons. And a lot of them have to do with different medical treatments for different conditions. And you would want to know. So, for example, you would want to know if a girl who hasn't gone through puberty, who is transmasculine, she presents and identifies with that masculine nature, and she needs testosterone, whatever, for whatever reason, you would want to know if that impact and what that impact would be on the reproductive system. That's the purpose of the study. It's not making a mouse transgender. It's not about making somebody else transgender. It's just not. And to think that it is ignorant. And to think that it is while citing a study that tells you it's not is aggressively ignorant. Jeez, oh Pete. Baffles me, I swear. Right. Transgenic, James. Yes, we're aware. So we were talking about the guest that was just on the panel. So whenever I get a child, and he was a child, I don't care if he was 18, 19, or 20, that person was a child. Whenever I get a child on my panel, and they are young enough that they could have come from my vagina, we are going to have a conversation about things. And I'm going to talk to you in that manner. Just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. Whew, jeez. It's just crazy the way that people are. So, all right. So what were some other things that I wanted to share today before we get off of here? So one, I did want to tell you all that the Senate bill to prevent trans male athletes from competing in sports did not advance in the Senate, right? So I did want to tell you all that. I did want to tell you that Doge intends to cut $900 million from the agency that tracks American students' academic progress. So here's my thought process on that. Come here, Mila. I have your moodles going. Here's my thought process. The fact that Elon Musk's team at Doge wants to stop tracking American students' academic progress, to me, is like Trump saying, well, let's just stop testing for C-19. Because if we don't test for it, there won't be as many cases. So Elon is saying, listen, if we stop tracking how dumb we are, when we dismantle the Department of Education, we won't know we're getting dumber. What the fuck? Really? That's what that is. Y'all get that, right? If we just don't keep track of our academic progress, we won't know how dumb we are getting. It's just crazy to me. Nope, you're not dreaming, Xavier. I wish, but nope, you're not. Okay. For those of you who do not know, one of the big things besides funding that the federal Department of Education does is civil rights enforcement. So whether that is for Black and brown people, whether that is for disabled children, whether that is for trans or people, whether that is for LGBTQ people, TQ people, no matter who it is, the Department of Education, the federal Department of Education, has the Office of Civil Rights. And that's what enforces civil rights protections in school systems. Now, you might ask yourself, well, won't states do that? Well, no, they don't do that. And what we know is that many states, school systems at a state level in the South, have never done that and have never wanted to do that, which is why we had to create the federal fucking Department of Education to start with, right? So, historically speaking, history has taught us that we should not rely on the states when it comes to education, not for girls and not for Black and brown people. This is what we know. Okay? And let me give you one more thing. So, and I put it on my Facebook yesterday, but just so you all know, that a judge did order the Trump administration to speed pay out for U.S. aid and State Department debt. So for all the farmers and all the individuals who already fulfilled contracts for U.S. aid, that those funds be immediately speeded up and paid to those people. And my thing is it took a damn judge to make the president of the United States take care of farmers for work they already did. So that was another win I thought I would share with you all today, right? Yeah, so just thought I'd give you all that little win too. Let me see if there was another one. Hey, Sugar Butts. Hey, Belle, I'm making Mila some noodles. You want some? Sure. Okay, cool. Well, he will have to. It doesn't come from him, Adelita. It doesn't come from him. Maybe. Is that where your stuff is?
Yeah.
Or did you bring it in your backpack?
Yeah.
It's in your backpack?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just look at your mom's house, you're not around your sisters. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I was going to
text your mom and ask.
I
mean, I don't care. Do you have a key or do you need mine? Hold on 1 second. I'm handling babies. What? Okay, don't lose mine. Put it in your backpack, bro. Let me mean it. Do you need to take a snack with you?
No. Oh, my stuff is at mom's house.
Okay. All right. Woof. All right. So, I did want to tell you all this because Homeland Security ended the TSA collective bargaining agreement. Yes. A what? Oh, I told her don't open it. I got it out of the cabinet when I got her the coloring books, babe. What? Yes. Look in there and see if I have an extra thing of juice. Do I? Or did you all drink it already? Is there one over there? Son. Yeah, you can take that jug of juice to your mom's house. Don't lose my keys. Right. Yes to snacks, right? Obscured. This is me taking care of Grans. Yes, you may have. I thought you were going to eat noodles because they're literally cooking right now. Snack or noodles? Okay. Well, then give me a minute to finish cooking noodles, please. What? When I'm done, girl. Okay. All right. So, we have been together 3 long, lovely hours today. I appreciate you all very much for, the comfy chaos of home life. This is it. Let me tell y'all something. So, the multitask is on point because this is life. Here's the thing. I've struggled with, because I've thought for a while now that I wanted to take the podcast and do it live. And then I thought, holy shit, what would the podcast look like live when I have Mila and I have whatever, right? I'm going to get to you, Bree. And then I thought, well, it's going to have to be what it is when I'm live everywhere else. Do you want to know why? It's because this is what life looks like right now. And what I can't do is stop advocacy work to wait on life to calm down, because it might not, right? I can't wait on Mila to hopefully get to Head Start, because maybe by the time she can get to Head Start, there is no Head Start if I don't do work, right? If I don't do work, if I don't advocate, if I don't fight, if I don't show all the things, right? Maybe by the time she gets to Head Start, there won't be Head Start anymore. So I can't wait to go live on a podcast until life is perfect. And guess what? Nobody else's life is perfect. And so this is what life looks like. This is what advocacy looks like. This is what resistance looks like. This is what it looks like. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we can do it. Do you want to get started before me? Okay. So this is how we do it. And so how can you all help? You can help by subscribing here on TikTok. You can help by subscribing. Listen, I don't have my Facebook or my YouTube monetized, folks. The only thing that's monetized is my TikTok, or if you are directly sending me stuff. So if you subscribe on YouTube, that doesn't do a thing in the world for me, or Facebook. Like I don't even have stars and stuff set up. So TikTok is it, and it's the lowest subscription there is. So unless you're gifting, one moment, I will get it. Unless it is, TikTok and Discord. That's it. So, how can you support? Once the podcast does go live, yes, and we can do that. Cheryl, make a note of all the things that you want to talk about when you're on the podcast with me. But so when the podcast goes live, make sure that you are downloading and listening. Download and listen now. Those ways you can help me. So this is what I was saying, is that they are trying to come after the unions that protect TSA workers. Homeland Security ended their collective bargaining agreement with them to try to not be able to protect the unions. So we will see what happens and how this kind of gets done. But basically, they are saying the union is calling it an unprovoked attack, which we know that it is. But we'll just have to see how it works itself out, like all of this stuff in court, right? That's what we're going to have to do. Yeah, Beth, I love that too. Okay, so take deep breaths. If you have good weather this weekend, get out, get your feet into the earth, go have some fun, get a little joy in your life. Remember that we do have wins, right? The bill didn't advance in the Senate when it comes to athletes. Remember that a judge said, Trump, you got to give payment to USAID folks that have completed their work already. Remember that they aren't winning, right? Why am I divorced? Because I no longer wanted to be married to him. The question was, why are you divorced? You are so beautiful and sweet personality. Because I no longer wanted to be married to my then husband. That's why I'm divorced. So yeah, I just read the comment and was like, that's why. Valid. Appreciate it. So, all right, that is all I got. I'm going to feed these kids some noodles and snacks and all the things. I will be live again tomorrow. You might go hiking in the dunes. Love that, Fran. Yeah, good reason, right? I don't know who asked it. It was somebody and I already did TSA, Chelsea. I said it already. They ended the TSA collective bargaining agreement, and one of the unions is saying that it was an unprovoked attack. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Diane, that is when I go live. Sometimes I also do it at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will not be doing that today because I have some other things that I have to do. For those of you guys who are in my actual programs, if you are in my Get Your Life program, do not forget that we have our monthly meeting on the 17th. If you are a gold or platinum subscriber directly through me in Discord, we will be setting up your our once a month meeting and our our one-on-one face-to-faces for my platinum folks. We were setting those up the last weekend of the month. Okay, so I appreciate you all very, very, very much. Yeah, it was the other one, not you, Cheryl B. It was the other Cheryl. It was a different. No, it was Chelsea. It was Chelsea, not you. Good vibes. Hit me in Discord and you can do that. So I appreciate you guys. Love you, mean it. And take a deep breath and we'll be okay. I really do believe that. We're going to be okay. Make sure that you are phone banking, text banking, talking in your circles of influence, right? Make sure that you are doing that, guys. We got a lot of work to do. So let's make it happen. Appreciate you all. See you later. Bye.